I hear the local commercials. Am I supposed to?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this hump day. Hope your week is going well. Let's get over it together, man. Are those magic numbers getting small? How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. I hesitate to bring in my co-host Mark Miller because, well, he's had so many poll questions ready to go by 6:01 a.m. Eastern in the last 2 weeks. How many do you have today?
Not a one this morning, David. Nothing. Zip, zilch, nada.
Okay. Now we're back to normal. It's good to know.
Give me a minute. I mean, just give me a minute. I got a couple ideas brewing. I'll have something by the break.
Couple of ideas brewing. You have been a brewing lately, and I don't mean a UCLA.
More like a Milwaukee.
Well, nobody is brewing like a Milwaukee brewer. Let me tell you, people have won the lottery and are not doing as well as the Milwaukee Brewers. Oh, I'm sorry, the 98 Yankees. Oh, wait a minute, the 76 Reds. What in the wide world of sports? They're never going to lose again.
And we'll still play the game show. Name 5 Milwaukee Brewers.
That's what their manager, he laid down the gauntlet at the beginning of this winning streak, and I don't know how many people have been able to answer it. Even when they watch their teams get swept by the Brewers, they still can't name 5 of them by the end of the series.
And I'm just reminding you, their manager is Pat Murphy, because you didn't know that, and neither did I.
And the only reason he's with the Brewers is because Craig Counsell brought him to the Brewers a couple years ago because he's his best bud. He played for him at Notre Dame, the whole deal. So he brought him in as the bench coach. Counsell leaves a year later, and and they said, well, yeah, he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, he's got experience, knows the team. The bench coach last year. Sure, give him the gig. Yep. Unreal. You always wanted us to play a game once a week in the morning called Dead or Canadian.
Well, yeah, and I think another show did that, so I didn't want to steal that. I just wanted to go, Dead or NHL player.
Right.
And move it into sports. Milwaukee Brew. And I'll give Le Batard credit. They did this. And I listen to a show occasionally, but they were doing this during the NHL playoffs, in which they had people on from the, national people and their guests on the show, and they would give names and say, is it a Florida Panther? And I think they were doing that. I'm sorry, they were doing it with the Marlins. No, he plays for the Florida Panthers. And they're just, people didn't know.
I think we could, going forward, play Dead or Milwaukee Brewer.
Absolutely.
I know we'd probably get some grief and what have you, and we should probably have some music and sound effects, and that would involve work. And, Miller and Moulton have actually put in a decent amount of work the last couple of weeks with the Fantasy Summit last night. So I don't know how, much we really want to, exert ourselves more going forward. And by we, I mean Mark.
Exactly. I liked how nothing better than, so we use a website in order for us to communicate with one another and with a lot of our guests. And I was doing that for the longest time. For whatever reason, David has taken it upon himself to be Mr. StreamYard guy. And He does it. It's fine. It's not the way I did it. I usually fix everything when I get there in the morning to get it the way I like
Oh,
it.
hold on. I thought in the last couple of weeks I've got it. I thought in August I now have it the way you want it.
No, I change it every day.
Oh,
Every morning I come in and fix it so it's the way I like it. But that's all right. You do great. And I giggled this morning because we're in the same room because we had the Fantasy Summit. And he sends me a text at like 6:23. Studio set up. And I went, really? So I can just walk in and talk into the microphone, huh? Because the studio's not set up.
well,
The computer's set. I understand.
the thing,
You're sitting across from me.
the thing is set up,
The thing is set up.
and we call it the studio because I click on it, and next thing you know, I'm in a studio with you. So we say the studio is set up, but yes,
I almost responded to when your key card worked, is what you're telling me.
hey, it still does.
That's really important these days. Don't kid yourself.
Every 6 months when I come down, that first day of usually a 2-day visit, I walk up to the back door and I'm like, man, is this thing going to work? Is this thing going to work?
Welcome to my anxiety every morning.
Did they take me off the list? All right. I've had this key card for a while. Did they take me off the list? The guy who used to make sure I was on the list is no longer here.
Right. He's off the list.
Right. He's been off the list for 10 months. So I keep worrying that my key card is not going to work. But
I understand it. I understand the feeling completely.
Miller and Moulton are in the building, the same building together on this hump day. By the way, an early guest today. We haven't talked to him in a while. Bill King. For the longest time, long before there was Paul Feinbaum, there was Bill King, the voice of college football in the South. And I want to ask him specifically about Tennessee. All right. Is Tennessee getting ranked based on they're in the SEC and they made the playoff last year? Or is SEC kind of like Florida? Okay. A salty team that if things come together, blah, blah, blah. Because I thought they lost a lot off last year's team. So I'm curious what they've got.
You know, and it's funny, while nobody cares about this team, my question is along those same lines. Bill, real question here. Who's better, Vanderbilt or Tennessee?
Vanderbilt or Kentucky, Bill, go. But anyway, instead of the starting 5.5 an hour, we will do Bill King, and then we'll decide when in our 7 a.m. Eastern hour, 6 a.m. in Huntsville, when we will do the starting 5. By the way, I think this is pretty neat and legible, readable, the whole deal. I don't think I have a single cross out and an arrow on the starting 5 this morning.
Good for you, David. And you get it all on one piece of paper. I couldn't do that if my life depended on it. I will that same amount of information will take at least 4 pages in my notebook on Friday when you are taking a day off. And I believe Trent Bally is going to join us for the show on Friday.
He is. Now, do you know what this is? This is doing local television for 20 years. And you only have your script. You can't add to it. All right. And so you got to scribble. And I mean scribble. You know, and the shot sheet, as they call it, the highlights, you know, all those times you were calling going, you're going to give the Blades a lot of love tonight, right? Yes, Mark, I am. Okay, in fact, we're going to lead with them, even on a high school football Friday. One time I put the Blades at the very end of high school football Friday, did like 10 minutes high school football and then did 30 seconds of the Blades. Phone rings instantly. Mark goes, how many people at those high school games tonight? Because we had 7,100 standing room only tonight. Just curious. And I go, you know, you got a dadgum good point. So going forward, I said, you know what I'll do? I'll honor the 7,100. I'll go with them first. Okay. In fact, we would come out of weather, do the Blades highlights, and then go into break going and nothing but the high school football scoreboard show coming up.
That makes sense to me. Got me off your back.
Did for
it's very similar, David,
while.
with all of the guests that we've had on the show that are plugging something. What do? We get whatever it is they're plugging out of the way, off the hop, so that they lighten up and can answer all the questions that we want to ask of them.
Little did I know that you, doing the broadcasting and the PR for the local hockey team, were just setting the two of us up for Radio Row at the Super Bowl.
Who knew? Who knew?
You didn't know it at the time either. Don't kid yourself.
No, I this was a stop on my way to somewhere else. I've been here for almost 30 years.
Let me tell you, if you come back in another life, you could be a lobbyist. Because, man, when you have a cause, you can lobby.
That probably would have paid more.
Well, there's no doubt it would.
Good gracious, this
more.
day's starting out great.
Not supposed to think of the negative. I'm trying to tell you what you're good at. Really good at, in fact. I mean, I'm a stubborn mule here. You moved me. You changed me.
I've even got him buying week 0 this year, folks.
Late, but I have come around. Speaking of which, 10. 10 is the magic number before week 0, which will soon become week 1. No, really week 1. Like real games for, about 40 teams and everything. No, they're going to have to move the schedule up. It's another thing we were 5 years out ahead of. They're going to have to move the schedule up. Damn NFL, getting in the way of everything.
Well, because they're not relenting on anything.
Well, I don't understand with this one, though. This is their free minor league system that does so much good for them. We know who the new players are coming into the league every year. We can't say that about the other sports.
And we used to be able to in basketball.
Right.
And if you think about it, just from that framework, David, one of the things that I believe has caused the NBA in this country to not have popularity in certain pockets that it once did is that we followed the careers of players. We watched them for, and I know, the Magic was there 2 years and Isaiah was there for 3, I think 2, and Aguirre 3 and this, and I know I'm going back generations, but these were the stars.
No doubt.
And they left a little early, but we got to see them play in a March Madness. We got to see them make a run, and then we follow them. And give the NBA credit. They're an incredible global league.
Yes, they are.
But while losing their touch with the college player and that escalation from college to pro, they've lost some of us. What does the NFL have? We watch Saturdays. I think my son's a perfect example. He's not a monster Sunday guy. He plays fantasy. He pays attention. But the guys he pays attention to were the guys that he loved on Saturday.
Yep. And it's also why the draft is so huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not huge. It's in part because they're the NFL portion of the draft. But come on, we've been invested for at least 3 years in these guys. We know who they are. Now we're curious where they're going to go. Miller and Moulton. On this hump day. Magic numbers, by the way, 10, 15, 2 weeks tomorrow. The college football season kicks off in earnest that Thursday heading into Labor Day weekend. And it's 3 weeks tomorrow, 22 days away, Eagles and Cowboys. It'd be an interesting poll question. Micah Parsons, Landon Dickerson, neither, both. Who plays in the opener? Cowboys, Eagles.
That is getting nitty gritty.
It is.
And let's pick a linebacker and a guard to do a poll question on. I like where, screw the quarterback. Who needs to talk about we need to talk about Micah Parsons and
Landon Dickerson. Hey, 2 Pro Bowlers. Not all these quarterbacks are good. These 2 players are good.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right. So since we've gone, the 2020 season was the first season that we jumped to 7 playoff teams each side.
20?
Yeah. I'm just telling you, I've got it written down here. But in 21, we had 7 of the 14 teams repeat. In 22, we had 7 of the 14 teams repeat. In 23, we had 8. And last year, we had 9.
So 7, 7, 8, and 9?
Yeah.
Well, and before, when it was 12, it used to be 7 out of 12. It'd be 5. Okay, sometimes 6, but it would be at least 5. It was like at least 5 every year, but 1 in 20 years. So the average was 7 out of 12 would return, but 5 wouldn't. And some years it would be 6 out of 12.
I thought most years it was 6, but I don't remember completely. But yeah.
So the numbers are similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 7 out of 12 is, what is that, like 58%? I think it's like 58.3 or something like that. And 8 out of 14 is like 57%, I think. Well, on Sunday down to 4 in the loss column.
Cleveland's been playing really well now for 3 weeks.
I know. Ever since the closer got suspended.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to give it to, though, Sonny? Like, I'm curious even who is in second place in the Cy Young Award race in the National League heading into last night? Would it be one of the Phillies starters? Which I'd have no problem with.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Bill King will join us in a little more than 15 minutes. We'll get an early college football fix. And the starting five will move to hour 2 at some point. We haven't figured out when. It's kind of how we roll. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Do want to say thanks to everybody who came out. Our biggest turnout yet. We've done it, about a half dozen times?
That sounds about. I thought last night was 5.
No, there you go. 5, 6, whatever it was. Okay. But our biggest turnout yet. And, it was terrific. All right. Miller and Moulton actually looked at one another like, this ain't half bad. This is under our umbrella, huh? We did this? Damn. And our audience is great, very loyal. All right. We love pressing the flesh the few times a year that we do it. All right. You're very kind, very generous. I mean, some brought gifts. I got a thing of mac and cheese and tuna mac. How great is that?
That's someone that pays attention.
JB Vike in the Twitch chat room. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, one person brought a bottle of bourbon, and since you don't drink bourbon,
right?
I got the bourbon.
Yes,
I was pretty happy with that.
Yes, you did. Yep.
I mean, it looked a little silly driving home, slugging it out of the bottle.
Well, it was dark, so
right.
Good that the ossifers didn't see you.
But no, great night last night. Absolutely. Hopefully, those of you in attendance feel like you earned or learned a lot from Roto. I know there was a lot of questions. I know, thought Roto might be there a little longer than we expected because it was going on. People were into it. So good luck to everybody in your fantasy leagues that was there. For those of you that didn't attend, no, you cannot have a cheat sheet. We're not giving any of that up.
No.
Proprietary information. And I know someone in our Twitch chat, I'm going to get a copy from so-and-so. You better not be handing that stuff out.
Well, we threatened the people in attendance. We did. Don't you be handing this stuff out now. Come on. Although I do feel bad. There was one gentleman who had signed up and paid and then got sick yesterday. And he said, I can't make it. And I didn't see his note until after the event. Because you know me, I had to grab the cheat sheet, and I love putting a stamp on an envelope, Mark. You know that. I mean, it's one of as cool as the other side of the pillow and putting a stamp on an envelope. I mean, and a power nap. That's like 3 of the 5 greatest things in the world right there.
I now know where to find a stamp in my house. You and my wife are kindred spirits because she still sends birthday cards to people.
And what's the other thing that your wife and I do? We figure out that checkbook down to the penny.
The damn penny.
To the penny.
And I'm like, yeah, you want to know what my balance is? Let me look it up. I'll tell you right what it is to the penny.
No.
At any moment.
No, I'm monitoring it every hour. Like, the $312 I've got in the 5 accounts, and somebody's going to come after it. All right. Don't you dare be taking my $73 in that special savings account. I've had that account since 2006. Leave it alone.
Look, here's my bank card in my wallet. It'll take me an hour to find it.
I went to a bank in Fort Myers, and obviously I don't live in the 239 anymore. And I'm like, this card should work here, right? It really should work nationwide. I hope this works. I felt like I was showing up at work again. I'm like, man, I hope this card gets me in the door. I'm like, God, I could use a few bucks. I hope this card works here. Hope it's not just a 904 exclusive card. I'm told this should be national.
These lifestyle segments you must do on the road are incredible.
You should see the looks I get from all these, sophisticated successful people, and they look at me like, who let this dumbass on the crew? Honestly, like, I mean, Aikman looks around and go, I swear he's pretty good at what he does. I swear, but I can't vouch for him here. He's a moron. So it's part of my charm. That's I keep using that line. It's worked so far. I hope it just works for a few years more.
That's
Remember,
it.
We got to get your daughter to college.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Just started 6th grade.
That's right. Hey, all right, daughter's in middle school. I feel like, we're progressing.
We are. You're absolutely right.
Act 3, we've already gone from one school to another. All right.
We are a moving. There is no doubt. And obviously, as we've said the last couple of days, for those of you driving around, give yourself a little extra time. Things are nuts out there with school back in session, the buses, the car lines, and all of the stuff that's going on. But we are closing in on week 0. We are closing in on week 1. We are closing in on the first week of the National Football League.
10, 15, and 22 are the magic numbers. Week 0, week 1 of college, week 1 of the NFL. 10, 15, and 22. Do you remember when we were excited right around Memorial Day? The numbers finally got under 100.
There are 3 moments when we get under 100. When I come back from vacation, you and I usually take some time off in July, and that, 9 days, if you will, from the end of the Friday show to the following Monday show the next week, that's always a big jump. And right now, when you can smell it, when there are actual things happening every day, I will say good and bad. Obviously, we've talked about the Eagles and losing Dickerson there, but they lost one of their backups.
Yeah, the backup swing guard.
Right, for the
also,
rest of camp.
Right.
And, I've seen him listed 2nd string. I've seen him listed 3rd string. But regardless, you're dwindling numbers in camp. These are guys that are expected to play. And those are the things we're paying attention to right now, not just the quarterbacks that, is Matthew Stafford going to be all right? Jordan Love with the thumb. I mean, there's obviously a lot going on in and around training camp. And it's mostly injuries. That's what we focus on.
And you know how superstitious I am, Mark. I take these August injuries as a sign. Like if a team had a really healthy year last year, and I do think the Eagles, for the most part, were healthy last year. Offensive line, Saquon, a couple of receivers had hamstrings that lingered for a couple of weeks, but they were a pretty damn healthy team entering the playoffs. And so now all of a sudden, when Dickerson went down, and now you see that the backup, swing interior offensive lineman could not be ready for opening day. And I just start thinking to myself, is this the football gods? It's tough to have back-to-back healthy years.
Listened to a GM the other day, and I don't even know which one it was, but he said, I hope that all of our players are healthy all year long. I've been doing this a long time. It's never happened.
Right.
And I just, it's like, hey, you don't root for anybody to get hurt.
No.
But the fact of the matter is, I've been doing this 20 years. Guys are going to get hurt. That's part of what we do.
Like you would like to believe the San Francisco 49ers are owed a little something after last year, don't you? That you look up at the football gods, and meanwhile, they had to cancel the practice and cut a backup kicker a week ago because they had over 15 guys who couldn't participate in a practice. At what point does Shanahan or Lynch look up in the sky and go, hey, did you not get the memo? All right, well, come on now. It's not supposed to happen 2 years in a row.
They're starting out behind the 8 ball.
Right.
Jennings is banged up. Ayuk's not back till week 6.
At the earliest?
At the earliest.
Yep.
Which doesn't that mean more like week 8?
I mean, Jennings and Pearsall are their 1 and 2 wide receivers. Good thing Purdy got paid. And by the way, that means Kittle and McCaffrey better stay healthy. All right. Not that Jennings and Pearsall can't play. Okay. But they ain't. They ain't the 2 wide receivers who were there last year. So Kittle and McCaffrey better be healthy, especially the first part of the season.
Well, don't you think that the 2 of them, if healthy, will catch a lot of balls this year?
Yes, a lot. But McCaffrey only played in 4 games last year. So once again, you're kind of looking up at the football gods going, you're going to take care of us this year, right?
And I don't want to get into all the things Roto talked about last night because it's not fair to those that paid to attend. But McCaffrey is one of those guys, and I don't even know where I pick in my fantasy draft. I was actually bugging our commissioner on the way to the event last night going, can we get a draft order at some point here? I want to start looking at this.
Come on,
I'm scared to death to be in a spot where you could take Christian McCaffrey. It's like, can I pick 1st or 12th? Because I don't want to be in that 4, 5, 6 range when people are thinking about taking him. I just don't.
I don't do fantasy, but that seems like a boom or bust pick.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
What kind of onions do you have? And, me, oftentimes I peel the onions off when I'm eating. So, I would chicken out in all likelihood.
And that's the decision that some of you will be making very soon in your fantasy drafts. We are not chickening out. We are talking to Bill King next. He is the voice of college football and has been for decades. He's next on Miller and Moulton.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for
Mark
details.
Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Hey, can you talk to me for a second?
Yeah, I can talk to you.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
The levels in my
Gotcha.
headset, they started off low and then too loud. Well, Paper Gamer, all right, that is one of the things that ESPN can do going forward when this deal with the NFL, they now have the rights to the name Red Zone.
But in order to do a college red zone, there is a lot of things that they would have to be able to do. Remember, the red zone, it starts at, we can do a segment on this. I think it's worthy of a segment.
Okay.
The games start at 1 and 4. Most of the games are at 1. College starts all over the place. They're not just on 2 networks. So you got to get a deal with all, is Fox going to do a deal with ESPN to allow them to show? Is CBS going to do a deal with ESPN to allow them to show? I mean, there's a lot more to this than what the NFL does. A lot more.
What does NBA TV do? Is it like whip around?
I think
they do.
I whip around. I think's the baseball thing they do.
Oh, on MLB. Yeah.
I think, but I
Does hockey do?
They did it I thought they did it one day on the NHL network when they had like that NHL hockey day.
Gotcha.
But I don't know for sure because I do not have the NHL network. I laugh. Sometimes people are really chatty on the phone and then, don't give the best interview. Bill was just like, very matter of fact, I'm good. I'm ready to go. I'm up early. Let's go. All right. All right, Bill, we're ready to go too.
He's like Sean Salisbury, Central Time Zone. He's got a 6 a.m. local show. So when they join us, they're 22 minutes before they start their show.
Right.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Normally, we do the starting five, but we'll push that to next hour because we're thrilled to be able to talk to Bill King. His show starts in Nashville at the top of the hour. The voice of college football out of Nashville for just under 40 years. You can follow Bill on X at Bill is King. Bill is King. Bill, it's David and Mark. Good morning. Hope you and the family are well. How are you?
Hey guys, good to be with you.
Can we start? It's not in your backyard, but it is the college team that they care about most in your backyard. The Volunteers, are they a legit top 25 team, or are they getting that ranking based on making the playoff last year and they're in the SEC? What do you, because we think they've lost a lot. What do you think?
They got there last year two ways. They were good on defense, and they had a very fortuitous schedule. They weren't very good offensively. They have not been in sync offensively since 22 when they had Hendon Hooker as the leader for the Heisman in mid-November before he blew his knee, and Cedric Tillman and Jay Hyde at wide receiver. They have noticeably deteriorated offensively since then, and this year might be the worst year of the last three offensively. They are not a top 25 team. They are not a competitor to get a playoff spot, and I think Vol fans are going to be disappointed this year.
All right, when we look at the SEC, it is interesting. that you have Texas and Georgia ranked at the top with great unknowns at quarterback, although all the praise for Arch Manning may or may not be warranted. We'll find out. Alabama's breaking in a new guy. I like LSU as a team in the top 10 that could make some hay because I like Nuss. When you look at the young quarterbacks starting, who do you have the most trust in, Bill?
Anywhere in the league?
Yeah.
I'd say Nussmeier would be there. Now, he's not a young quarterback, but Lenore Sellers is a third-year sophomore. Last year was the first time we really got to see him as a starter, taking meaningful snaps, and he is a guy talked about in the high part of the first round. Now, we'll let the season develop and determine all of that, but I would say he's the one that jumps out at you. He's a dual threat. He's 235 pounds. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's got everything that you could possibly want. He'd probably be the one that I would mention. Lagway's certainly in there too. Now, he's not draft eligible. When we saw him and when he played, he was the franchise. He is what led them to the heights that they achieved later in the season in Florida. And with or without him, they're in big trouble. They got a lot of talent around him, but he is the franchise. I'd put him in there somewhere too.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, the voice of college football for 40 years in the South. Follow him on X at Bill is King. Bill is King. We found it a little humorous, all those years that folks in Tennessee especially were trying to get John Gruden to take their job, and other SEC teams were interested in Gruden, and he humored them and patted them on the head, but he didn't have any interest. And now John Gruden says he'd love to coach in the SEC. Do you think that would work?
Oh, I think he'd have the passion. What the first question would be, are you willing to work 25 hours a day recruiting? That's it. And then dealing with the numbers and the NIL environment, the lawlessness, the mercenary aspect of the game that we now have. And I think he would. Now, the second part would be, okay, well, if you think, Bill, he could do this, do you think there's going to be that opportunity? I'm not sure about that. The Arkansas job may open if Sam Pittman struggles this year. Of course, he's got Bobby Petrino there, and I'm told it's not out of the question that maybe they would give it back to Petrino, where a year or two ago they would have laughed at you if you asked them that question. What other jobs could open? I think that's probably about it. Now, Florida just fell to pieces, which I don't think we're expecting. That could happen there. I don't think Auburn makes a move this year. I don't know that there's going to be an opportunity for him, would be my long-winded answer.
When you look at Alabama, and obviously with Saban leaving, it was going to be a monumental loss. He might be the best ever to do it in college football. But DeBoer now in year 2. Are they positioned to make a run for a national title, or do you worry about it, Alabama, this year and going forward with the new NIL? Do they have the money to compete with the A&Ms, with the Floridas, with the Georgias? Where is Alabama heading?
I think your point is they may have adjusted a little slower than we anticipated. It's Alabama. It's the Alabama brand. I grew up, and all I heard about in Nashville was Bear Bryant, and I'm in Tennessee, right? It's the New York Yankee brand of college football. People adopt Alabama who have never been to Tuscaloosa all over the planet. So they did adjust slowly. I do think they're on the right track, though. The big deal is Ty Simpson. He has been around. He's a fourth-year guy now. They have announced he's their quarterback. He's a former borderline 4-5 star. He's yet to show us that he can be that good. Now, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities when we talk about meaningful snaps. I will give you that. But he has got to be a good player. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He doesn't have to compete for the Heisman. They have the second best wide receiver in the country in Ryan Williams. Nobody is better than Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. And they've got Isaiah Horton is now there. He transferred from Miami. He's from here, the Murfreesboro area. They feel good offensive line. The defense was not a problem last year, guys. Defense was a top 10 defense. Should be at least that good this year. So I think they've got a chance to compete for a national title. Yes.
And that guy can coach. I know he's not Nick Saban.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that guy can
Yeah.
coach. He had Washington playing for the Natty. That guy, and take a look at his track record everywhere. Kalen DeBoer can coach. Bill, is the best team in the South Clemson?
Oh, boy. Now, do we include the entire SEC? I would say for the first time since 2019, Clemson is arguably the best team in the South. Now, after 19, when they ran into that LSU Joe Burrow team, generational offensive talent on that team, they have not been as good at wide receiver. They have not replaced Justin Ross and T. Higgins, those guys. Now they do have players at the wide receiver positions making plays. Cade Klubnik, guys, as you've seen, has come a million miles as a player the last 2.5 years. He's poised to be a first-round draft pick. Their offensive line and defensive line, they've got the best defensive line in the country. They have 2 defensive linemen who are going to go right now in the top 10 in the draft. Both Alabama kids, by the way, third-year guys from the state of Alabama. They are very rugged at linebacker. This is their best team since 19. And, yeah, I think you could legitimately not be laughed at, debate. That's the best team in this region.
All right. These teams are all top 10 teams. In order, rank the coaches of who you'd want to coach a big game. James Franklin for Penn State, Ryan Kelly at LSU, and Cristobal at Miami. Go.
Oh, gosh.
He may never talk to us again, Mark.
Wow. So I've got James Franklin. I have Brian Kelly. You know what? I'll take Brian Kelly. And I know Brian's got a lot of enemies. Brian Kelly is a hellacious coach. Now, has he taken LSU to the level at this point where the expectations were? I mean, clearly not. But they've been pretty good. They're certainly a top 10 type program. They are once again loaded at receiver. You mentioned they got Nussmeier back. He's the top first-round type pick. I would take Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, you got to remember, in those games where Notre Dame had to play Alabama, they were so overmatched on paper. There's nothing. Brian Kelly could have reincarnated Bear Bryant and, the best in Bill Belichick brought him to help out. That wouldn't have helped in that ball game. But he now can recruit the personnel he feels like he can get. I would have Brian Kelly.
Bill, who do you think's being overlooked? And I'll throw out a team in which, man, Florida gets talked about having a brutal schedule. South Carolina's schedule is no picnic either. And I know they may be pretty good, but they could be a pretty good 7-5 team. But I am curious, do you have a team that you think is being overlooked?
Boy, that question is always difficult for me because when you're almost your entire existence involves you're thinking about teams and players and games and matchups and schemes, all that kind of stuff. I'm wired to think about that, whether I want to think about it all the time or not. I'm wired that way. So overlooked is difficult for me because that means I would have to look out into the public and say, okay, who all is overlooking this? Boy, underrated. How about Illinois? Now, that might not fit your description, but Brett Bielema has done a fantastic job there. They have back as many starters as any team in the country that's prominent, and they won double digits a year ago. Luke Altmaier, the quarterback, remember, he's here because he couldn't beat out Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. He has done a wonderful job there. I'd say Illinois. Now, do I think Illinois, guys, if you and I talk in December, we're talking about maybe a national championship run? I don't think so. But there's one for you that might fit your category.
Is this the year that we get a 9-3 team in the playoff? After what happened a year ago and the SEC only getting 3 and Indiana underperforming after having an easy schedule and getting in, when I look at the Gators, if they get to 9 wins, that would be impressive. South Carolina, the same thing. LSU's got a hell of a schedule. One of these SEC teams is going to be good in 9-3. Do you think this is the year that a 3-loss team gets into a playoff?
2-loss national champions will be common, just like with the Buckeyes. And 3-loss teams getting in will be common. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be littered with them, but there'll be a couple. And remember now, we're haggling. The Big Ten and the SEC are at an impasse over the future structure starting in 2026 of the postseason. And everybody agrees they want to expand to 16. but they can't agree on the format, either 5-11 or the automatic bids where it's 4-4-2-2-1-1-1, however that goes. But yeah, and so my point is, when they expand, which they will, that's not the debate. The structure's the debate. You're going to have several 9-3 teams, but could one get in this year? Yes, absolutely.
Bill, we know you're short on time because your show starts in 10 minutes. So very quickly, isn't this a natural compromise? Big Ten's the holdout on the 5-11 format, but the Big Ten's saying, hey, SEC, ACC, you guys got to play 9 conference games like we do and the Big 12 do. Isn't that a natural compromise? Okay, we'll go 5-11. You guys got to play an extra conference game. Done.
Yeah, I get it, but you know the ego's involved.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
The 8 versus 9, and let's just say the SEC, through the years, has whipsawed more times than I can count. Because there has been momentum for 9. Remember, Nick Saban wanted 9.
Right.
He pushed for 9 way back. But along about the SEC meetings in Destin, this last late May, early June, the coaches got with Sankey and said, no. We do not want to go to 9. Because Sankey, I don't think, really cares. He's just talking for his coaches. And I don't think the SEC is going to bend, and I don't think the Big Ten's going to bend. And if that's the case, we'll hit the new contract, which is 2026, with the exact same format, which is 12 teams.
The voice of college football for nearly 40 years, based out of Nashville. He is Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. You can follow him on X at Bill is King. Bill, we're always appreciative of your time and insight, especially when you give it to us right before your own show. Have a great show. Be well, and hopefully we can catch up during the season.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys.
Bill King. Bill is King on X.
He is king. He's the man.
You stumbled upon him 30 plus years ago.
I moved to Nashville. It would have been 1994, right after the team I worked for in Atlanta had won a championship. And I moved to work for the team they had bought in Nashville. And WLAC was the booming AM talker, news and sports. And Bill King was on in the afternoons. And I'm trying to make hockey work in the South. That's a fun task in Nashville.
Especially 30 years ago.
Right.
Hello.
Right. And I remember listening to Bill's show, and I think I've told this on the air before, but not only does Bill, and I don't know how well he knows the recruiting now as to what he once did, because the recruiting landscape has changed and there are far more services and a lot of things on the internet. Bill knew everybody. You'd ask him about a sophomore in Brentwood, and he'd go, oh, that Moulton kid. Yeah. I'll tell you what, he's getting looked at by Alabama and Tennessee right now, runs a 4.3 40. And you're going, what? He's 16. How do you know this? And also, it was March. What are you talking about right now?
Is this March Madness? Is this spring tournament? What are you talking about? No, man. Recruiting. It's 24/7, 365.
24/7. I like how he answered your question to think of someone to sneak up, because basically no one can sneak up on Bill.
Yeah.
I spend every hour of every day thinking about college football. When my wife is talking to me, I'm just nodding because I'm actually thinking about Alabama's offense.
I'm thinking, can Vanderbilt go to a bowl again? Right. Yes. Try that lame question with someone else, young man. It is not going to work on me. Miller and Moulton. The starting 5 at some point next hour, Seth Everett and Bud Elliott an hour from now.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Shoeless Joe Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Just do it at the bottom of the hour.
You want to do it at
we'll
38?
We'll do a segment here. And
What was that segment you wanted to pick up? We were talking and you said we should do this on the air.
College Red Zone.
There you go. Do you think that that's something to do, like after you do the coolest thing I've seen today, jam it into a short segment? Or
Once I find the coolest thing I've seen today, that would be great.
Gotcha. Well, we could also do it then at 20 after and give you another hour to find it.
No, I'll find something. I mean, can I just say the Brewers every day right now? And we need a poll question.
Yeah. Damn.
It's National Filet Mignon Day. We could go to the well, best cut of steak. I think we've done it before, but it's National Left-Handers Day, National Filet Mignon Day, and National Prosecco Day.
Damn.
Could just put who's going to win the SEC and put Georgia, Texas, Bama, and LSU.
Just cutting in and out. Like, yeah, like, damn.
I have that happen with mine. Usually I got to just move crap around and it starts to work. I mean, those are well seasoned headphones that something breaking on them would be such a surprise to me. I mean, those have got to be 14 years old.
It's possible.
I mean, weren't those the ones that Gallo got us when we started on this station? Have you had one since then?
Oh no, I've twice paid for 2 headphones. But I think this is the original pair that I paid for.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I think the other's in the back of my car. Not only that, I'm wearing a new pair of glasses.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day as we get over it together. Seth Everett an hour from now. Bud Elliott in about 90 minutes. The first of the weekly visits for Bud Elliott over the course of the next 4+ months. The starting 5 has normally just taken place, but since we had Bill King last hour before his radio show in Nashville, we will push the starting 5 to about 35 minutes from now. I don't want to say we've been derelict in our duty. We talked about it early in the show. We're just still undecided. We'll have to decide now. A poll question or 2 or 3 here on Miller and Moulton on this hump day.
Well, if we want to go football, since we just had Bill King on, is it as simple as who will win the SEC and take the 4 teams that are all ranked in the top 10?
So Texas, Georgia, Alabama, LSU?
Correct. I even think the most passionate Gator fan doesn't believe that the Gators will win the SEC. And and who else are you going to put? South Carolina, A&M? I mean, I think those are the 4. And hell, most people just think it's Georgia and Texas. I don't, by the way. I think LSU's got a real shot.
You think LSU is a real shot?
I do.
It's very interesting. Okay. I think even the most ardent Gator and Gamecock fans could think very highly of their team, but just look at their schedule and go, man, that's a tough schedule to get to Atlanta with. All right. Maybe if our team is as good as I think it is, they can negotiate it and they can get into that 12-team playoff. Maybe, but that's not a playoff schedule. That's not a get to Atlanta schedule. And this is something that, even if we go to 16 teams, if they're going to keep these conference championship games, Mark, we're going to have unbalanced scheduling for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
They've opted against the divisions. And, what was it that they were thinking about calling?
The pods.
Pods, right. 4-team pods in the SEC, which I loved. I absolutely loved it. First off, I thought the pods were natural, fitting. I didn't really think there was a team. There might have been one that kind of felt out of place in the pod they were in, but I thought that the pods worked in keeping rivalries intact and also taking geography into account. And then also it guaranteed that once during 4 years, every team in the league would come through you. Now, I know the conference is trying to say, well, with the home and home scheduling and what have you, it's still not going to work, where once every 4 years, you're guaranteed to see Texas or you're guaranteed to see Georgia or Florida or what have you. It's not. I mean, it depends on what school you are.
Even with 9 conference games, you're not going to get to see each other very often. Saw a post on X yesterday, just an innocent post going, a game that we should see more is Iowa versus Michigan. They've only played 3 times in the last 10 years. That was next to Michigan, Ohio State for a lot of years, Michigan versus Iowa was a really important game in the Big Ten, David.
Throughout the 80s, Hayden Fry, Bo Schembechler. I remember they played number 1 versus number 2 in the mid-80s. Chuck Long's year when he barely lost the Heisman to Bo. It was a monster game. Iowa won it on a late field goal, I think 12-10. Monster game.
So I get your point. I don't know. The pods, how do you get to a championship out of the pods? You have semifinals. I never really understood the end game in the pods.
Right.
Everything that you say, I get, and I think mostly you're right. I just didn't see how you got to an end game.
Right. To me, you'd have to go semis and then final.
And
because you'd have
Tony Petitti would love the pods now because he could have
Right.
play-in games and not even have to worry about a conference champion. But the other poll question, the easy one, the layup, because we love food on this show, it's National Filet Mignon Day. And we could ask either your favorite cut of steak or how you like your steak cooked. That's the easy non-sports question.
How about how you like your steak cooked?
Fair enough.
So-
But I'm going to put rare and medium rare on there. I don't know what other choices I'm supposed to put.
My mother has rare and very rare.
Right. Rare, medium rare, or do you want ketchup with your steak?
My mother gives instructions when she orders, and she doesn't order steak very much anymore, but my mother gives instructions when she does. How would you like your meat? And she goes rare. And by rare, I want you to listen to me. I want the chef to put the meat on for 30 seconds, flip it over for another 30 seconds. All right. And then I want you to put it on the plate. And if the meat is still talking to me, I'm okay with that. You got it? I mean, those are the instructions my mother gives when she orders her meat.
You two together in a restaurant are a waiter's nightmare.
Not true. We're very specific.
I don't no ice in my soda.
Yeah. Like
I
that's a problem.
I don't want you to cook my steak.
No, that's my mother.
And we're going to tip 22%, okay?
Well,
we're getting
that's
this
not
all
true.
out of the way right now.
No, we throw money around like we have it. I don't know what happened to us. All right. I really don't. I don't know what happened to us, but now we throw money around like, we're a player. Like I drive something other than a Hyundai. I mean, honestly, damn do I throw money around like I have it.
Good for you.
I think it's my wife's influence. I mean, she's giving it all away anyway. So why am I trying to hold on to any of it?
So we'll get those poll questions up here shortly. We'll get our SEC champ poll question up. We'll get our meat question.
All right.
It can be a meat Wednesday.
Why not?
Works for me. Works for me.
Miller and Moulton on this hump day, the starting 5 in 30 minutes. The Air Advantage, coolest thing I've seen today, coming up in 15 minutes time. So yesterday we were talking about Scotty Scheffler and the FedEx and caddies and, should we change the FedEx? Didn't somebody at the Fantasy Summit last night come up to you at the end and say, all right, here's the deal. All right, match play.
Yeah, they want, a 64
Right.
player bracket. And again, that's nice. Like we said yesterday, these are all television shows.
Correct.
Match play does not work on TV. It works for the Ryder Cup. There are several match play events, but the match play tournament that they have,
They got rid of it.
Right, because it didn't work on television.
And it's a shame because the course in Austin, they were all in. They had a terrific title sponsor. The guys loved the course. And the couple years they played it, they actually had big boys in the semis. And the PGA Tour said, yeah, this ain't working.
No, and you're right. I mean, because Austin was the perfect city.
Yep.
They've got college football. That's it. They've got the F1 race in Austin and a golf tournament. I mean, that's for a city of that size. That's not a lot of sporting events.
And the community
they were
was all in.
But-
Yep. All in.
But it shows you again, what is it? It's not a spectator event. It's a television show.
Right. So Scheffler, obviously, I mean, he's first. I'm wondering, does Scheffler even have to play the last 2 events? Would he win the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup? I mean, does he win the FedEx Cup on points if he doesn't play anymore? I think it'd be close. So Scheffler, because it wasn't caddy gate, but we just took it a little bit further. We're like, can we I needed Golf Channel NBC to do a little bit more investigative. How did the fill-in caddy get home? All right, who's going to be the caddy? Did Scheffler go home? Okay, is he waiting on his regular guy? So they announced late yesterday that somehow, some way, we still don't know how, but the fill-in caddy, the pastor, okay, he's home. He's off this week. That's it. It was one day, Sunday on the bag. And maybe we'll find out one day what Scheffler gave him, for the looping for the day, in which Scheffler was reading all the putts and walking off all the yardage. But anyway, so the regular caddy's not back this week. Apparently this family situation is serious.
Okay.
And so the regular caddy's staying home in Louisiana. And so Scheffler needs a caddy. Well, Mark, let me tell you, this week and next week are the weeks to need a caddy. Why? We got a whole bunch of guys whose season's over.
Right.
They didn't make it.
There's a ton of players whose caddies are looking for work right now.
They're hanging out. And so Scheffler apparently called number 51. Remember Chris Kirk? He needed 2 birdies in the last 3 holes, and he only got 1. All right, missed an 8-footer on 16, and that came back to cost him a spot in the second round of the playoffs. He finished 51st on the FedEx Cup points list. Well, his caddy, Michael Cromie, he's available. All right, Scheffler just started at the top of the list. Who's number 51? Call his caddy. All right, want to carry my bag this week? You, Scotty Scheffler? Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely.
I think I've got the time.
Wow, it's going to be a nice check. I mean, I love my man Chris Kirk. I'm going to be there for him if he's going to play any more golf this year. But
unless, of course, you want me more than for just this week,
right? I mean,
don't want to Wally Pip your caddy here, but I'm available.
You need me to drive your fill-in caddy to your next event? Okay, I can do that too.
Whatever it is you need, Mr. Scheffler.
I've got time on my hands. All right. You want to go play a practice round or 2 at Bethpage? Consider it done. So anyway, he's using Chris Kirk's caddy, number 51.
All right. Money grab starts tomorrow.
Right.
And then on Monday, we will find out who Keegan Bradley has selected for his Ryder Cup team with the 6 captain picks. Will he choose himself? Will players that are below 12 make the team? Remember, he was not picked, and he was 11th on the Ryder Cup standings 2 years ago and was picked over for players who didn't have the top points. So it is what we have been most interested in, really, in the golf world since the end of the British Open.
Here's my question, and I'm being serious. So do you start calling guys now who aren't going to be on the team, but who are under somewhat serious consideration in the last month? Like, do you call a Wyndham Clark? Do you call a Spieth? Do you just call them now and say, listen, I haven't settled on the 12, but, I just want to let you know you're not going to be on the team. So, I don't want you crushed on Sunday night or Monday. I just let you know now, I seriously considered you, but, I'm going to go in a different direction.
Oh, I suppose. I don't know how much it matters. If you're Jordan Spieth, you don't think you're on the team. If you're Wyndham Clark, I don't know how you could think you're on the team because he blew up. I mean, he had a shot and blew up on the weekend. He was if he played well Saturday or Sunday, we'd be considering him right now.
Do you tell Goddard, listen, dude, you had a great month, okay, and you were under consideration, but you're not going to be on the team? Do you tell Finau?
Finau, sure. Goddard, what if he won this week? Would that change your mind?
Probably not.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floormeisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floormeisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from that fit everyone's taste. Floormeisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
This is Miller and Moulton.
DC, I'm okay if he tells the Golf Channel or a Speed or somebody like that says, yeah, Keegan let me know I'm not going to be on the team. You know, good.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this hump day. The starting five coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. I know, normally we do it the first hour of the show. We had a guest, Bill King, talking a little college football. You missed our talk with Bill King, go to millerandmoulton.com and download what you missed. Want to thank the 75 of you who showed up at our Fantasy Football Summit. It was a great time. Biggest outing we've had in the 5-6 years that we've done it. Want to keep doing it. Thanks so much to Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe and the Doubletree by Hilton in the Bell Tower Shops in Fort Myers. They did a great job providing the room and the food and the microphones and all that. It was just a really good, convenient night. We had a lot of fun. And a reminder, Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe is where you should be holding your fantasy draft. They have free private rooms, terrific and free Wi-Fi, food and drink specials. And throughout the month of August, every day is a food and drink special. Today, Mark, by the way, $6 wings and half-price pizza.
Wow.
At Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe, Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers. Good food, good times, and good sports.
Time now for the coolest thing I've seen today, and it's brought to you by Air Advantage. You can follow them online or check them out online for that matter at myairadvantage.com. They are offering 18 months, no interest, no payments. Call today, 239-433-4635. That's 433-4635. A little baseball, something a little unusual. Doesn't happen every day. And it happened against maybe the best player in the game. Angels-Dodgers.
Lined up the middle. Neto's got it. Steps on second. Throw to first. It's a triple play. Whoa.
So there you go. A little triple play in the Angels-Dodgers. It was Ohtani who hit the liner up the middle. The shortstop, Neto, caught the ball, touched second, threw to first. And the shortstop had never been a part of a triple play in his life. Not in Little League, not in high school, not in college, not in the minors. And to do so, helping to turn a game around, and I think the Angels are not in it, but certainly a big game for the Dodgers, who lost again, and the Padres have now caught them in the NL West. So that's the coolest thing I've seen today. You give me a triple play with Ohtani at the plate, I think that qualifies as cool, David.
By the way, how about how remarkable Ohtani's night nearly was? So I don't know if the bases were loaded there, but there were definitely runners on first and second when he lines into the triple play in what I think was a tie game at the time. Then they are losing. Then they rally to tie it. And in the ninth, so Ohtani hits in a triple play in the middle innings. And then with the game tied in the ninth, homers against his former team in his former stadium, which is packed and rocking. And it looks like he's going to give the Dodgers a dramatic, much-needed win, only for L.A. to give up a run in the ninth and lose in 10. But how about that night? How'd your night go? Well, I hit into a triple play, and I thought I hit the game-winning home run.
Just another night at the office for Shohei. I mean, it is almost a little disappointing. The Dodgers were in town, for a weekend set against the Rays, and it didn't even enter my radar with the stuff I had going on. But it's a guy that I feel like we are not doing ourselves as sports fans justice by not making a trek over to Miami or up to Tampa when he plays to see this man play in person.
Not to get selfish, but don't you want to do it when he's pitching as well?
Yeah, but I'm fine. I'm fine watching him take his 4 or 5 at bats as well.
I'm with you. There's a handful of guys that I'd pay to see just their 4 or 5 at bats.
I mean, I think with Caminero right now, you can't go wrong at a Tampa game watching that kid play. I think he's that good. But Cincinnati comes down. Yeah, they're a bore. I don't know what to tell you. Ellie De La Cruz plays. I'm in.
Right? Totally.
So I think baseball's got a lot more of that, and they don't market it.
No, they don't. The players have been complaining for about 10 years now, and the owners, quite frankly, don't want the players to become like NBA players, where they're the ones getting marketed and not my team.
Which, think about that for just a second. How stupid that sounds coming from the owners who are paying some of these players what they are paying them.
Right.
I mean, let's just say, which I don't think either of us think is going to happen, but in their new CBA, they get a salary cap. Then they're going to promote the stars because, in essence, they're controlling top end cost. I don't get it, because there are stars in that game. There are a lot of stars in that game right now.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the sport's getting younger. The sport's getting more athletic. We can argue whether it's better. I mean, I have to admit, I am beginning to sound like Clint Eastwood on the porch when I talk to some of my friends. You know, we've all talked at length about the things we don't like in the NBA. The load management, the seemingly 40 to 60% of the shots are three-pointers. There seems to be no low post game anymore. And some of us miss that a lot. Okay, well, I got to admit, and maybe it's because the team that I have always followed, if the team's ever had one thing, it was starting pitching, going all the way back to the late 60s. I love to watch a starting pitcher go deep into the game. I love a starting pitcher third and fourth time through the lineup. Okay, he has shown the hitter how he wants to pitch him and how he want to get him out. And now the hitter knows. And now let's go. And also there was an art to it. You pitched at 3/4, 85% speed the first times through the lineup, and you got guys out. And then instead of now throwing as hard as you can, as early as you can, you know, it was a skill to hold back and get them out. And then in the 7th and 8th, throw as hard as you can and add 3 to 5 miles an hour to your fastballs to get through the lineup again. I mean, to me, what? A starter goes 5 and then 4 relievers each come in and do an inning. Okay, the ball, and we've got 12 to 16 strikeouts a night, and everybody's swinging for the fences. I mean, I got to admit, the game's not as appealing to me. I love it. I watch it almost every night. I do. But there are nights in which I go, wow, I've seen this movie play out. Oh, another 4 1/3 from a starter. Oh, 5 1/3 tonight. He really went deep.
No, it's turned in a way into fast pitch softball because the ball's in play so little. And it takes a lot longer than fast pitch softball. I mean, it just does. Even with the new time rules, the game seems to drag more because the ball is in play less.
I'll tell you
and
what.
it's why, by the way, sorry to interrupt you, David, it's one of the reasons that you might want to get on the Brew Crew, everybody.
Just going to say, because I watched
the Brew Crew play. I mean, they hit home runs, but they're way down on the home run count. Way down.
But that ball's in play, and they catch it also.
And they run. They pressure you.
Yep.
And I'll be interested in the postseason because so many teams are home run dependent.
Yep.
The Brewers pressure you both sides. Their defense is very good, and they hit the ball. They move the ball around. But how that will do against the elite teams in the National League, you know, the Phillies could strike out a bunch, and Schwarber can hit 2 bombs late and turn everything around, David.
So you asked David Sampson yesterday, is Major League Baseball rooting for the Brewers? If a team with $108 million payroll could win the World Series, would that ultimately, heading into a negotiation with the players, would that be good? And he said it might be, but no, Major League Baseball is rooting for the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Every single year. But he did say that Major League Baseball wants the Brewers to make the playoffs.
Right. But
they want a few small market, low money teams to make the playoffs to give all of those other teams hope.
Just not to win.
Right. But at the end of the day, Yankees, Dodgers in the World Series is what the league wants every single year. We've got 2 poll questions up. We did it, David. 1 football, 1 steak. Who's going to win the SEC this year? Georgia, Texas, LSU, or Alabama? And today is National Filet Mignon Day. So how do you like your steak? Rare, medium, or do you like it ruined? The starting 5, an hour later than normal, but still spectacular. That's what we do next on Miller and Moulton. Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Glad to hear it. Glad you enjoyed it.
So you can put me back up.
You know you can put yourself up.
No,
too.
for whatever reason, I tried and it wouldn't. I know. I scrolled over it and all it said was remove. So that's why I just said, all right, let Mark.
Well, you're only, even when you're not on
Well,
stage?
no, for whatever reason, this time when I put,
I got you.
left Twix.
How about that? We had sound that last segment, huh?
I know.
Did I trick you? You weren't expecting that, were you?
No. Uh-oh. God almighty.
What?
What's going on?
I don't know, David.
Uh-oh. Jeez.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X, Seth Everett. At the top of the hour, Bud Elliott, 1 hour from now. It may be an hour late, but it's always great. It's the
Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
We'll start with baseball, and man, the Packers defense was incredible last night. Pounding the Steelers 14-0. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Brew Crew. Milwaukee winning their 11th in a row, pounding Paul Skeens, who was in line to win the National League Cy Young Award. Maybe he still will, but he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs in 4 innings of work, and then the Brewers pounded the bullpen for 10 more runs. 14-0 Milwaukee, their 11th win in a row. Their lead in the Central is 7.5. Mark, is it over? Can we put an X next to the Brewers with what, a little over a quarter of a season remaining?
Yes. They've had 2 10-plus game winning streaks this year. I don't know how many they have left with the Cubs, so I'm guessing there's at least one more series between the two teams.
Next week, I believe they play a 5-game series against one another. Last 5 meetings of the year, I believe.
But don't you think at this point the Cubs would need to take 4 of 5?
Yes. Yes.
And that seems very difficult. I'm not putting the X there yet, but I understand why you would want to.
Lead is 7.5 because the Cubs lost in Toronto to the Jays, 5-1 the final. Ernie Clement with a big 3-run homer in the mid-innings for the Jays. Toronto's lead in the East is 4.5 over the Red Sox. Red Sox beat Houston 14-1. Bregman homered in Houston for a second straight night. So Boston within 4.5. The Yankees, 6-pack in the East, have a 1-game lead for the final wild card spot. Judge homered again, as did Stanton for his second straight game. Twins were 1 hit at Yankee Stadium last night. They scored a run on a hit in the first inning and did not get another base knock. 9-1 Yankees because it's the Twins, and they always beat the Twins.
Well, I'm trying to think, David, is there another series between teams that feels as lopsided as the Yankees and the Twins. And I mean all sports. I mean, this was Florida against Kentucky for years in football. Kentucky's got them a couple times in the last few years. But you know what I'm saying. This is Notre Dame against Navy. I mean, the Twins have nothing for the Yankees.
Absolutely nothing. I know the Bills are like 14-2 in the last 16 against the Dolphins, something like that. The Chiefs' dominance in the West, where they're 17-3 against all three division opponents in the last 10 years.
But this Twins-Yankees thing seemingly has gone on for 30 years.
At least 25,
right.
Yes.
It's just a constant.
Since the Twins started returning to the playoffs right around the turn of the century, all those terrific Twins teams could not beat. Johan Santana, I believe, was the only starter who could get the Yankees lineup out. All the other contact pitchers got pummeled in the postseason, and now it continues in the regular season. So the Yankees, a game ahead of the Guardians, who beat the Marlins 4-3. Jose Ramirez hit 2 homers, including the go-ahead shot in the 8th to win it. And the Guardians pick up a game on the Tigers. The White Sox scored 5 in the 5th to beat Detroit 9-6. The Tigers' lead in the Central is down to 5.5. It is 4 in the loss column. So if the Guardians can win the makeup games, this really gets tight. By the way, with Houston losing to Boston, Seattle is now tied for first in the AL West. George Kirby with 7 shutout innings. Seattle beat Baltimore 1-0. So the Yankees with a 1-game lead over the Guardians for the final playoff spot. The Mariners and Astros tied in the West. By the way, the A's held the Rays to 4 hits in a 6-0 win. To the National League, the Reds snapped the Phillies' 4-game winning streak. They beat Philadelphia 6-1. The Phillies' lead cut to 5 because the Mets snapped their 7-game winning streak, hitting 6 home runs, 2 of them by Pete Alonso. No New York Met has ever hit more home runs as a Met. Alonso passing Darryl Strawberry on the Mets' all-time list. 13-5. Mets over the Braves, so the Mets are 5 back of the Phillies, and the Reds remain 2 back of the Mets for the final playoff spot in the National League. Meanwhile, not only is the American League West tied, Mark, so is the National League West. The Angels rallied, won in the bottom of the 9th after Ohtani had homered in the top of the 9th to give the Dodgers the lead, and then the Angels scored in the bottom of the 10th to win it 7-6. And if you were with us 30 minutes ago or 25 minutes ago, you heard Ohtani, before he hit the go-ahead homer in the 9th, he hit into a triple play. The Dodgers loss combined with the Padres' 5-1 win over the Giants. That's 4 in a row for San Diego, 6 of their last 7, and the Dodgers and Padres are tied for first in the West. Rockies shut out St. Louis 3-0, snapping an 8-game losing skid. It pushes the Cardinals 4 games back of the Mets for a wild card spot. Royals get to 500. Can they keep it going? Vinny Pasquantino with a homer and 5 RBIs. Kansas City 4 back of the Yankees for a wild card. And Arizona get a Ketel Marte homer to the Diamondbacks in the 9th to beat Texas 3-2. The Rangers are 3.5 back of the Yankees for the final playoff spot. Astros put closer Josh Hader on the injured list with a shoulder strain, and it's to his pitching shoulder. You got to think he's out a minimum of 3 weeks, if not more. Hader is 6-2 with a 2.05 ERA and second in Major League Baseball with 28 saves. The Astros have been pounded by injuries in the last 2 months. The Mariners were aggressive at the deadline, so were the Astros, but you wonder, Mark, if Seattle's just healthier. And is that going to be the difference?
It seems like it. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it wasn't close. The Astros had a better roster. I don't think you can say that right now.
And the World Series, It was announced that it was going to start on Friday, October 24th. They will not play, Mark, on the 2 Sundays in which it could be played on. The World Series Game 7 would be Saturday, November 1st. So no Sunday World Series for Major League Baseball. They could have a Game 3 against Monday Night Football, and they will. But Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday would be the schedule for the World Series. Speaking of the NFL, Packers quarterback Jordan Love, ligament surgery on his left thumb. Obviously, he's right-handed, so he should be okay. Strong likelihood you won't see him again in the rest of the preseason, however. Terry McLaurin has been at Commanders practice lately. He's not in uniform and running pass patterns. In fact, he's had a couple of nice, seemingly, conversations with Peters, the general manager, as they try to work through their contract stalemate. James Cook, the Bills running back, is back at Bills practice and practiced with the team yesterday. Despite his contract dispute, the Bills commenting publicly saying things are going well, and we think we're going to be able to work it out. We'll see. Cowboys, they end their training camp in Oxnard, California today. Micah Parsons was seen at practice yesterday. Was he practicing? No, but at least he was in attendance. And of course, do we think he's being held out for back tightness or because of his contract holdout? Would it be out of line for Jera when he finally pays Micah to have the presser where he puts Micah on the massage table and he gets a masseuse to rub all those $100 bills on his lower back, okay, to get rid of his tightness to prove a point? No?
Yeah, I think right now the NFL and massage tables are out.
Only in Cleveland and Baltimore, Mark. Only in Cleveland and Baltimore.
I would think Houston, but...
Well, that's true.
You know, I'm guessing the Cowboys think they can do whatever they want. Hell, there might be a sponsorship for Jera.
I just thought it would be a sense of humor. His back's tight. I wonder if 40 million of these, okay, will loosen up his back. By the way, the Chiefs are officially going to be without safety Deion Bush. He was a backup safety, but he tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. This is an interesting college football story. Is this playful and harmless, or is there some there? Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, a lot of is expected of him. He is denying that he has ever gambled on sports. Why would he have to do that? Because apparently there are Venmo screenshots from 3 years ago when he was a freshman at Washington State in which he paid a friend of his and the description for the payment was sports gambling. Mateer tried to laugh it off and say it was an ongoing joke with friends. I've never, ever gambled on sports. The matter is being, quote, investigated. Can I ask a question? Who's investigating it? And I'm not being a jerk.
David, Oklahoma?
Why would they?
That's a better question.
Why would they?
No. This goes back to our Florida State self-reporting the track team all those years ago. Why would any NCAA team investigate themselves? I don't know.
Mark, the NCAA publicly announced 6 months ago that basically they were getting out of the investigating business, which was a joke because their idea of investigating was reading Yahoo articles who were actually doing the investigating and the wrongdoing in college athletics. And the NCAA has said, we're leaving this up to the schools and the conferences. If you're Oklahoma and the SEC, how strenuously would you investigate John Mateer potentially gambling on sports 3 years ago? Never mind, do you know how much has changed in both gambling and sports in 3 years?
That last part doesn't matter to me one bit.
Okay.
That's irrelevant to me. If I'm the SEC, I am going to investigate it because, David, the one thing you cannot have are players gambling on sports because he might have, you don't know what team he gambled on. That's the one area that I think the SEC will pay a little bit of attention to.
Well, remember,
Oklahoma? I don't know.
Remember, though, was it last year or the year before? You had the Iowa and the Iowa State players who got in trouble. At the time, you couldn't gamble on any sports. The NCAA has now changed their rules. They said you cannot gamble on the sport you play, but you can gamble on the NFL, on the NBA, and what have you. So just even if this is legit gamble, if this kid did in fact gamble 3 years ago, the rules are very different now than what they were 3 years ago if he didn't bet on Washington State football.
And let's be honest, if he said it was an inside joke, could you at least use the proper words then when you're paying your friends for your inside joke? Because we all know on Venmo, when given the reason for payment, the proper answer is cocaine and hookers.
Very quickly, NBA, 10 weeks last night, the league gets underway. The games will be on NBC. Mark, do you know the last time NBC televised the NBA?
Oh, goodness.
June of 2002, when Shaq and Kobe finished their three-peat by sweeping the then New Jersey Nets. And the Christmas lineup has also been announced. All the Texas teams are in action, including Dallas, because they want Cooper Flagg there in prime time. WNBA last night, Indiana finished the game on a 19-3 run and still lost at home to Dallas, 81-80. New York, with their highest scoring output of the year, beat LA 105-97. NBC re-ups their deal with the USGA. They add 6 years onto it, pay about $90 million a year to televise the Open, the Women's Open, the Senior Open, all the AMs and Junior AMs on NBC, USA, and the Golf Channel. And as we mentioned earlier this hour, Michael Cromie, Chris Kirk's caddy, will carry the bag for Scotty Scheffler at the BMW this week, the second round of the playoffs.
That's a great call-up right there. In the terms of caddy call-ups, that's big. I mean, you go from a good bag to a great bag.
Yes, it is. Try not to smile too much, Michael Cromie, to honk Chris Kirk off. And at 7 minutes before the hour, that was the starting five. 5 big stories. And would you investigate the kid for gambling from 3 years ago here on Miller and Moulton?
We like to call it the Great 8 because many times we think this hour is great. Seth Everett will join us next. Bud Elliott also in the 8 o'clock hour coming up right here on Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest, now try the best. Miller & Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hi, Seth.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. This morning thing, I have to adjust. I didn't factor in espresso time.
Do you have, what is it, the Nespresso maker? Is that your?
I have this Breville espresso deal,
Okay.
and it was an anniversary present that I stole when I moved out. And
Oh, wait a minute. I mean, she doesn't get all of the anniversry gifts.
that's right.
Right. I mean, you're allowed to take, a couple 2-3 for you.
I
She
will.
invited me on the coffee. She fought me on the couch, not the coffee.
It is funny, Seth. When I divorced my first wife,
Yeah.
things were, you know how it is. It's not fun. But I remember I did most of the cooking, and I said something. I said something along the lines about wanting the pans or something, and she goes,
Yeah.
"And you can take the goddamn waffle maker too." And I mean, it was the only time in 3 months that we just laughed. I mean, we just both roared in the kitchen. It was like, that's pretty funny.
Our joke was, while I was still living there, mommy has to use this pot once. If she uses it once, she keeps it. If not, it's coming with me.
Funny.
Is that like
the kids got into it? Like, it was funny.
Is that like how you empty your closet? Have I worn this in the last year?
Yeah.
If not, I give it away. But if I have, it stays.
That's right. That's right. Very good. Very
The
good.
only, I'm still at a loss. I've lost this weight. I've got all the big shorts. I can't throw them away. They just
Can't throw them away.
They go in the fat part of the closet.
Right.
I've got an area for it in case
Yeah.
I get fat again.
Sure.
I'm ready for you.
You have a proper label?
No, just the back corner. That's it.
If you know, you know.
Exactly.
Manatee.
Right.
You just label it manatee. Okay. That's, you know what it stands for.
That's funny. I am going to see all my teams play a home game this fall.
So the Cuse, the Devils.
I'm going Halloween night. I'm going to go see Syracuse, North Carolina.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Where?
At the Dome.
A home game. So
Yeah. I'm sure I'll see a handful of Devils games. And then after Christmas, so the 27th or 28th, Arsenal plays a Tuesday night game against Aston Villa. And I won't have school. I can get my podcast done. That's usually the Two Jews Hanging on Christmas podcast. Like this, I can get it all done. I'm going to go on a Monday, and I think I'm going to spend New Year's in Europe and then come back like the 2nd.
did you happen to see, and we didn't talk about this, did you apparently, is it Real Madrid's talking about playing a game in Miami, and their other team is a regular season game, and
They
lost their
minds. Yeah, they lost their minds. They're never doing it. Yeah, the Premier League CEO was a guest of Alex Sherman on CNBC, and he said that we've investigated that, and because we see what the NFL model is, and he says our fans would mutiny. No, it'll never happen. They'll do a preseason.
Their fans don't want to come to the U.S. for a regular season game.
And they don't want to lose a home game. Right. They don't want to lose a home game.
Going to London or Germany to see these games. It's all the Americans that live over there that want to see football.
Correct. Yeah, and I look, because of the holiday, first of all, the prices will be cheaper after Christmas.
Here we go.
And
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this hump day, at least in the 239 and the 904. Final hour of the show, Lake City, Live Oak and surrounding areas, Port Charlotte, Venice and surrounding areas, Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. 2 poll questions today, 1 sports, 1 non-sports. That's usually how it goes. The sports question, so who you picking to win the SEC? There are 4 teams that are consensus top 10 in the preseason polls, so that's who we put in our poll question. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. And today is National Filet Mignon Day, so we ask you, how do you like your meat? Rare, medium,
Or ruined.
and I am a ruined guy because I'm a medium well guy, and I know nobody orders their meat medium well.
Did they allow you to do that at the Capitol Grill?
Yeah, they did, and they nailed it too. And it's difficult to nail, okay? And they nailed it.
Just burn it to a crisp and throw it on a plate with ketchup.
You do not. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth, feel free to take part in the how do you like your steak?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me the SEC question. You guys don't know me at all.
When it comes to college football, that's why we bring on Seth Everett. Sports.
That's why.
Okay, absolutely.
No, I'm a medium.
Breaking down the too deep from LSU.
Right. He doesn't even know the too deep of his alma mater, Syracuse, and he's wearing a Syracuse T-shirt right now. Sports with Friends Hall of Justice is 2 terrific podcasts. Seth, during the football season, will join us at the top of this hour. During the summer, he joins us a half hour from now, but we'll have Bud Elliott coming up near the bottom of the hour, and Seth accommodating us from a schedule standpoint. How are you?
I lost to Bud in a mean game of rock, paper, scissors.
You did.
Yeah. His paper covered by rock.
It's the way it works sometimes. Seth, there's been a lot that's happened since we last talked.
Yeah.
In the world that we kind of talked to you about, the sports media world. First off, the UFC leaving ESPN to go to Paramount. And they are going to do all of their events on streaming, basically eliminating the pay-per-view model. Is the pay-per-view model dead for all sports, or do you think UFC and others will still have the occasional pay-per-view event?
Well, I think for now it's in like a purgatory, because I think what has to happen with all the seismic shifts in the way people consume, I think there needs to be a little bit of a learning curve. And I think that if you're going to make people subscribe to a second streaming service, and then you're going to, on top of that, charge for individual things, I don't necessarily know that that's a good business growth model. So from what I understand, this is going to be a deal where Skydance, the company that took over Paramount, has a clear vision for Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is a very different streaming service than Netflix or Max or whatever, Peacock. Paramount Plus is very different. It skews older. And for a streaming service to skew older is interesting, because usually when you're talking about streaming, you're talking about the younger demographic. So it's an interesting model, and it's curious to see what Skydance does with it.
But there's wrestling, and they're keeping their pay-per-views, right?
Supposedly. Yeah, it's going to be through ESPN, and it's going to be on that ESPN app, which it looks closer and closer like I'll be signing up on August 21st. We'll do a live, I'll do a live unveil. We used to do that with Disney Plus on the Hall of Justice. We did that on HBO Max with the Hall of Justice. We watched all these cartoons, and we did like a kind of a live go through of the app. I think we'll do the same thing for ESPN's app, maybe on Sports with Friends.
What are you hearing about the bundling of ESPN and the Fox Sports app? That is about the strangest thing I've seen come out of the ESPN direct-to-consumer talk in the last few days.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the weirdest ones. But from ESPN standpoint, they had a partnership, before all this talk with Max, and because Turner is splitting their company in two, so TNT Sports is not going to be connected to HBO Max,
Right?
And because of that, it's hard to bundle Max or HBO. I know they call it HBO. I don't care what you call it. HBO Max with all the Disney apps, Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN Plus. The interesting thing about it is that I took from was that they said they're still offering ESPN Plus as a standalone, like for $11, and all they're going to highlight is all the things that you don't get with ESPN Plus, and it's probably going to be the same app, and it's probably not going to change the interface. So when you press play on a game that you want to watch on the ESPN app, it's going to say you don't have this.
Well, and supposedly, not to get too technical here, but I think NBC is splitting up. Okay, I think NBC and NBC Universal is going to be one, and all of the cable channels they own are going to be on their own or part of another bundle. Because like during this NBA scheduling deal and this USGA announcement they made yesterday, they made sure to say that like certain things were going to be on NBC and NBC Universal, and then other things are strictly going to be cable on USA and the Golf Channel. And they mentioned that it's two different companies going forward.
Yeah, I have a goal because I don't have the Hulu Live anymore. I have a goal to see when Syracuse is on the CW and when Arsenal is on USA. I don't have access to the games, and that's ridiculous. First of all, we're not talking about like highfalutin. This isn't pay-per-view stuff. This is Syracuse playing UConn. It's insane to me on how many hoops you have to jump through just to get one game, but it wasn't worth the $75 a month for Hulu Live to watch one game.
And that really boils down to the ultimate question as to, this is very much to me the fitness gym membership that they are planning.
Want to quit the gym?
They are planning on you getting Peacock or Paramount Plus or whatever it is, and you really only want it for the game that you're going to watch in September, but you forget to shut it off, and you've had it on for 12 months, and they get paid. I mean,
that's how SiriusXM has been doing it for years.
Yeah, and I'm smart enough to set a notice in my phone to say cancel SiriusXM, and then I'll join, so I get the $5 a month in 30 days.
There you go. I'm thinking of getting a bunch of email addresses and getting Fubo for like a day. I'll do like a day trial just to watch Syracuse on CW, and then it's doable. It's just a pain in the neck.
Yes, it is.
Well, you mentioned Sirius, big news there. Reportedly, they're pulling their contract offer with Howard Stern, and he will be done at the end of this year. Okay, a legendary radio figure, okay, and terrestrial. And then would SiriusXM have made it? Would they have merged, and would the company have made it if not for Howard Stern?
Oh, they wouldn't have. I am convinced that SiriusXM was able to maintain its car deals. The most underreported thing about the SiriusXM model is the deal where if you buy or lease a car, it comes built into your car and 30 days free. And it's the drug deal. And it gives you the taste, and people don't cancel it. What I wonder, and I think this is going to help the podcast audience, is whether or not future car partnerships include SiriusXM or not.
And that was the same thing with terrestrial radio, because, reports just came out this week that we as driving cars consume audio on terrestrial radio more than we do on Sirius, more than we do on Spotify. When you're in your car, people still listen to the radio far more than any other service. And that's important with those car deals. And that's why they were lobbying to make sure they kept AM on cars. And Seth, you're onto it here, because what the car deals are going forward has a lot to do with how we're going to consume our audio.
I don't even know if my car has a radio. I'm sure it does. I don't know how to access it. And when I turn my car on, it connects to my phone and it'll play either a podcast or my music. And I couldn't tell you one frequency. When WCBS 880 shut its doors, I couldn't listen in my car because I couldn't figure out how to do it.
That was an all news talk station in New York, and it went away, and it was a legendary station in that part of the country. Can you do us a favor? When you get behind the wheel, could you take 30 seconds and just snap a few pictures with your phone and send it to us? We then will be able to identify where your radio is and how you can use it.
I'll get right on that.
Look at that. Moulton helping Seth Everett out with technology.
Right.
That's what we've evolved to.
Well,
Can you find me the AM radio?
Because that was a little snarky by Seth.
Yes.
Okay. Coming after my beloved radio, and then you even going AM. Okay, because that's how people of a certain age listen to their sports for the first 20 plus years of their
You're
life.
the guy who, when it
First
says
year.
it on the highway, when it says for more information, tune to 540 AM. That's you.
Right. I'm the guy who also on the highway, when I got to high elevations on a long trip, pulled over and just went through the AM radio to see what ball games I could get. Hey, KMOX in St. Louis. I'll listen to Jack Buck for the next half hour, and then I'll continue my trip.
Yep. It's a lost art. It is.
All right, Seth, Hall of Justice, Sports with Friends. What do you got?
Hall of Famer. A new memoir out. A longtime sports writer, covered Steinbrenner like nobody else, wrote a book about Steinbrenner about 10 years ago. Bill Madden has this memoir out. The stories, if you're an old-timey baseball fan, especially Yankee fan, he's a great storyteller. The stories from the zoo, especially 1982 when George Steinbrenner had three managers. The Yankees had three managers. When Lou Piniella got fired because George Steinbrenner accused him of stealing furniture. The Bronx Zoo is the perfect example of what that was in there, and Bill Madden tells great stories. Hall of Justice is a neat one. It's a guy by the name of Dan Bally. He is a Scottish police officer who was in the police academy, and during COVID, during lockdown, wrote a horror short story just for fun. Because he was in lockdown, and that's what people did. He put it on Reddit, and a comic book company read the thing and hired him, and now it's a trade paperback. It's a comic book, a horror-themed comic book written by a guy who was a police officer who one night just said, I'll put this on Reddit. It's a fascinating story.
Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice. He is Seth Everett. You can follow him on X at Seth_Everett. Seth, appreciate you making allowances for us and moving yourself up a half an hour. All the best to you and the family.
Time to make the coffee.
Espresso time for Seth.
Right.
Breaking news on the other side. Miller and Moulton. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from that fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You were saying?
Oh, there's part I didn't. There's part of me, and I've not have watched a New Heights podcast from start.
I haven't either, but I'm going to watch this one.
I'm pretty interested, just because she's only portrayed and it's a good way. But unless you're a Swiftie, how much do you see her cut loose, if you will? And just the little clips, it looks like she's having fun. That interests me.
She's never done a podcast before.
But she's done interviews. She's bet,
Right.
but if you're a Swiftie, you probably know a lot about her. I'm just interested to see the crap Jason Kelsey's going to say to her. Oh, that's interesting. 6 teams received first place votes in the preseason AP Top 25. That is the most in a preseason poll since 2016. All right. I will say, if it's not Texas against Penn State for the Natty, those two fan bases are going to be up in arms.
Well, Penn State's will. I mean, for sure. I mean, if you're Texas, you get one more year with Arch.
I understand, but you invested a lot into this year. You win Ohio State this year from a financial standpoint. But you're right.
What was it that we would put off? We wanted to talk about again?
Red zone.
Red zone, got it. The other great thing about Paul Harvey left Twix was that it was appointment listening. You knew what time it was, was it 7, noon, 3, 5, whatever it is the station chose, to air Paul Harvey. You knew it. It was sponsored accordingly, and it was appointment listening radio.
I listened to that with my father. I mean, so many times, either on the way to the golf course or a practice or whatever the case may be. Because Fred had WSGW 790 AM on the car. That's the way it was.
Right. Yep.
And I remember when they first got Rush. We're talking way back.
Oh, yeah, late 80s.
And my dad loved it because it was just so different than anything you'd ever heard.
Totally.
Before.
Yep. It's funny. I worked for a station for a short time in northeastern PA, part-time, and they had Rush. And, Rush had a sense of humor, and the owner got really upset about a running joke that he had, and he said he was going to cancel it. I said, listen, you're making a huge mistake. Huge mistake. This guy's a minute away from being a star. You got him at the ground floor. I go, don't do this. I go, I'm telling you, the station you're competing against that beats you regularly, they will grab him and you'll never get him again. Do not do it. And he dumped Rush Limbaugh. Unbelievable.
What city?
Pittston, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Northeast PA. Yep. Jimmy Cephalo's hometown, by the way.
There isn't. I don't, Left Twix, unless there's something on a podcast that, there are a lot of people that do, but they were short. They were, 3-5 minutes.
Yep.
The rest of the story was a 3-minute, 4-minute thing. It's amazing because it would work today because our attention spans are shorter.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour, Bud Elliott to join us in a little more than 15 minutes. And we think this is the first of Bud Weekly for the next 4+ months. I was just texting with him just to confirm that by the end of the month, we need you. He's like, let's go this Wednesday.
That's what I'm talking about. I wanted him like a month ago, and he turned me down. You had a day off. You're like, what do you want? I want Bud.
I know, but he was traveling. Then he had all the media days. He's out in Vegas and in Charlotte.
Hey, I'm not taking it personally. I'm just saying I would have had Bud a month ago.
But Bud booked himself 2 weeks before we were booking him, and Bud Elliott in about 15 minutes time. Now, you teased us in a sense from a news standpoint. You said breaking news as we headed to break. What do you got?
James Cook. He has signed a 4-year, $48 million deal with the Buffalo Bills. His agent says that it is the largest sum of guaranteed money ever given to a running back.
He's got more guaranteed money than Saquon and McCaffrey got? Wow.
David, I am just reading what Adam Schefter put out about 45 minutes ago, actually, that Cook and the Bills have reached a contract extension per his agents. The deal includes the most guaranteed money for a running back in the last 5 years.
Oh, got it. Okay, well, send that. Wow, more guaranteed money than Saquon's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
That's got to mean most of that deal's guaranteed.
Right.
Because Saquon and McCaffrey are up around 20 a year, and that's 12. So
he's getting at least 3.5 guaranteed, then I would imagine. But the Bills now, this offseason, have got deals done with Josh Allen, James Cook, Christian Benford, Russo, Terrell Bernard, and Shakir, the receiver. I mean, they're locking in their players.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a nice job of avoiding what they had with Cook. And it was interesting to me with Cook, David, because he started practicing. Then he said it didn't seem to be the right form of a negotiation tactic. I mean, you never got the sense that Cook wasn't going to sign with the Bills. Now, I think Micah signs with Dallas, and I think that McLaurin signs with Washington. But the way they're going about it, because they started right from the beginning of camp, at least it causes a little bit of wonderment. With Cook, did you ever think that Cook wasn't playing the first game of the year for the Buffalo Bills?
Well, no, because quite frankly, outside of Allen, I think Cook's the second best player that you mentioned. It's part of why, though, Cook and his agent were a little miffed. They were beginning to whisper out loud, listen, I'm better than Shakir and Russo, and why are you getting deals done with them? I mean, I scored 12, 13 touchdowns last year. Okay, and you guys don't even give me the ball. I want the ball a lot more than you're giving it to me. You're giving it to me 14, 16 times a game. I'm rushing for 1,000 yards barely with 200 carries. I mean, give me the damn ball. And so, yeah, I'm glad they got it done. To me, the McLaurin one's easy. Okay, McLaurin obviously wanted a 5-year deal. Of course. And the Commanders are like, dude, you're 30, okay, and you're under contract for this year. His cap hit's 25, but the cash is 19. To me, this is really simple. 3 years, $100 million. All right, $10 million in a signing bonus this year, so that he will pocket just under $30 million this year. And then he will pocket $30 million a year in 26, 27, and 28. By the way, I guaranteed only 2 of those 3 years. So to me, this is real simple. 3 for $100, $10 million up front in a signing bonus. I guarantee the first 2 years, not a dime of the third year when you're 33 years of age. Here you go. You're making 30 a year. That puts you top 7, 8 at your position. I'll guarantee 70 million of it. Okay, come on. And by the way, this organization 4 years ago actually paid you They gave you $21 million a year on a 5-year deal. They did not shortchange you 4 years ago. You've now gotten paid twice by this organization. You'll be a Ring of Honor guy. Here you go.
And I think Micah and the Cowboys and Jarrah will eventually get it done. And how it will probably end is Micah will ask for whatever he asks for. And then Jarrah, in a moment of weakness, will add $4 or $5 million onto that to overpay him at the last minute and get him on the roster.
During the NBC pregame show to the Cowboys and Eagles, is Micah signed, or is it a countdown to opening kickoff in which we're not sure that Micah's playing or not?
I think he will sign before Labor Day.
I think he signs
maybe on Labor Day, if you know what I mean.
I think he signs in between lunch and dinner on the opener, to be honest with you. And therefore it's dramatic when either he arrives, flies in on his own, and he arrives separate from the team to the link to play in the opener for the Cowboys against the Eagles.
Boy, that's very Jarrah of you. I like what you're doing. NBC would love what you're doing. Every part of that, what does it do? It adds to the Cowboy brand.
Micah Cam. Sure. We'd be tracking him like we do, those college football planes when they're going after new coaches, when they say they're not going after a new coach. Where's Micah? Is he on his way to Philadelphia? I don't know. The plane's in Plano, Texas. I don't know.
So James Cook gets his deal done. Obviously, the other two holdouts we'll keep an eye on to see if anything happens anytime soon. But with Parsons, we don't think that happens. With McLaurin, we think it'll happen a little sooner than it will in Dallas.
With Bud Elliott coming on in about 10 minutes' time. So we got it mentioned in the Twitch chat room about, hey, I'd love to see college football do a red zone. And one of the things that wasn't talked about a lot in the ESPN NFL deal is that the NFL has given the name Red Zone to ESPN. ESPN can do Red Zone in any sport. Any sport. They can call it Red Zone. And the NFL can't say anything about it. Can you do a college football Red Zone?
Yes, but ESPN could do one now, but it wouldn't be a college football red zone. It would be an SEC and ACC red zone.
And select Big 12, because they do, and Fox split the Big 12, but, yes.
But that's where they have the rights. They don't have the rights to the Mountain West. I mean, just even the other conference. They don't have the Mountain West. We know they don't have the Big 10. Got it. Everybody's aware of that. But they don't have a lot of the other conferences as well. Now, they have some of the smaller conferences, and I know they have deals with ESPN+. So that probably works in. But there are a lot of, to me, obstacles to put together a college football red zone.
All right, let me ask you this. If you're Fox, would you go along with ESPN's red zone, or would you go, no, man, I don't want you, benefiting off this? I would if I was Fox and CBS for this reason. They're going to be showing highlights of your games. You may get somebody to switch over to them, okay, and promote your games. So I would be apprehensive. There's a couple of reasons. See, the red zone, while it works in the 4:00 hour, kind of, by that point, there's 3 or 4 games going on. One of them's nationally televised, and half the time on the red zone, you're just getting the nationally televised game. They show more of that than the other 2, 3, 4 games that are going on. College football has multiple slots all day.
So what's the red zone? Is it going to go from noon until when, David? So let's just start with that. Are you going from noon until midnight?
Yes.
Are you noon until midnight?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I am. Yeah, and I may go till 1, 2 a.m. too, depending on if, like a USC playing a night game, which is 10:30 Eastern kickoff. Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, you've got to get NBC on this too.
Well, for Notre Dame, that's true. And Big Ten.
And Big Ten.
Yep, that's true.
So now you've got to do a deal with NBC, with CBS,
Mm-hmm.
and with Fox. I would not, if I were those networks, be giving any part of my property to ESPN. I wouldn't.
I think you could do Red Zone without NBC, okay? Because Notre Dame fan watches the game, and they're not going to watch Red Zone. And quite frankly, NBC's Big Ten schedule is mostly bad. They've got like 3 really good games a year.
The other side of it is there are games in college that are on streaming services only. Are you going to give those up to a Red Zone? You're trying to get people to subscribe to your network. I think there's a lot of hurdles to get this done. Could it be done? Yes. Will it be done? We'll wait and see. But Elliott next. Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, I think it's damn near impossible to do a good red zone in hockey or basketball. You know, you're just going to show power plays in hockey. How the end-to-end rush, the puck goes in. You're just showing replays of, I just don't know. In both sports, okay. You red zone, football's built for it. Baseball, you could get away with it. A runner's on second, you could go to that game. Put a runner in scoring position, you put the baseball game on. But I think this is a football-only type of thing to really work. Doesn't mean they won't try it in other sports. I just don't know how well it works in other sports.
Yeah, you'd have to get a little luck, you know what I mean? Because you're right, you'd have to just go to some games like too late, and so you're going to throw it there with 3 minutes to go,
Okay.
and hopefully you get some good action.
But third period, I got you. What are you doing for the other 2 hours?
No, you're right. You're stalling for 15, 20 minutes at the beginning and hoping you get some early goals, and then you can go to them and this, that, and the other thing, and then hopefully you get some more goals and you can go to them.
You can do a lot of replays. You can go back, hey, let's go
Yes.
to Detroit. So-and-so fought so-and-so. Show the fight. I got you. You can
Right.
do you're doing highlights.
Right.
You're not doing live. The the red zone gives it to you now.
Yep.
And there's only 2 networks that carry NFL games when they're doing this. Only 2. It's a deal with CBS and it's a deal with Fox.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. Bob Clark, thanks for coming. Good to see you. Thanks to everybody, YouTube and Twitch, who were on hand last night. Thank you very much. It's a nice night. If there's any way we can improve it, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, Sonny, I got you. The last 5 minutes of basketball. What do you do on that network for the rest of the night? I mean, do you just come on at 9 o'clock for 45 minutes?
If you're going to do it, you got to do it.
Right.
You got to do it from when the games tip.
Exactly. It's just not that easy.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. He will join us at this day and time throughout the college football season, beginning right now. He is Bud Elliott, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, Cover 3 Podcast, Nolecast. Am I forgetting anything, Bud?
No, you really got it nailed, guys.
All right, Bud Elliott. You can follow him on X at Bud Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's, and the number 3, Bud Elliott 3. I know Mark has told you this off air. We will tell you it on air. Your summer school series was outstanding. It was in depth. You covered everybody. You should win awards, quite frankly, for it, and hopefully you do. Hey, a question just came in. How much of what happened last year that either you got right or you missed on do you take into account before this year kicks off, or do you try as hard as humanly possible to wipe every slate clean?
So I think you have to take into consideration, like, if somebody's telling you, hey, we feel really good here about this, right, from a team, and they're way off, I think you need to be a little more skeptical about taking what they say at face value in either direction, right? Like sometimes some of these guys will kind of Lou Holtz you a little bit and be like, we're terrible. I'm like, okay, you guys aren't terrible. Like you guys got 5 stars all over the board, right? Just how good are you actually? So I do think like there's some of that, right? I think you got to look at, are there any structural changes to the sport? Last year there were a lot of really, really veteran teams, and this year I think because almost all of the COVID kids are gone now, we're going back to largely what college football has been for the vast majority of all of our lives, which is, all right, which of these young guys will step up? Do we know? Like, it's not like everybody can go out and get a 23 or 24-year-old seventh-year player just to plug a hole like you could really a lot over the last 2 years with all the COVID bonus kids, if you will.
All right. I listened to an NFL GM talk about, injuries happen every year. I've been in this league for 20 years. You always get injuries. And I listened to a ton of your summer series. And it seemed that everybody that you interviewed, when it got to depth on the offensive and defensive line, went, we don't know. They're all young. If you had good depth on your line, those guys that weren't starting transferred out to get more money in the portal. I understand that. When you look at teams who, from a depth, of the really good teams out there, does anybody have great depth?
On the offensive line, I think I think Penn State has some. I think they feel pretty good about their developmental operation there, and they certainly like their starters a lot. Going down the list here, Texas definitely not now, given that they've already lost one of the guys who was competing for the starting right tackle job, and then another player who's a key backup for them, or potentially a key backup as well. I don't hate what Florida and Miami have as far as offensive line depth this year. To be honest, I think they've done a pretty nice job developmentally. Like, my questions on those teams are in other areas. I think they're pretty good up front. Like, there are some teams who have it, but there's not a ton of hey, this team's going to go out and win the national title. Notre Dame, I would have told you, but again, they fell victim to a lot of their guys who played meaningful snaps last year and played well. You're just not going to keep. If a guy gives you 300 good snaps, he's not going to stick around to be a backup the next year. He's going to go, make $750,000.
Why is Penn State not number one? They seem to have followed the Ohio State playbook from last year. They kept just about everybody they could. Obviously the kid had to go in the top 5 of the draft and not stay. They've got a veteran quarterback, which Ohio State went out and got. Ohio State went out and had a major coordinator move last year with Chip Kelly. Penn State made a major coordinator move on defense. I mean, come on, isn't Penn State Ohio State in different uniforms?
All right, if you want me to take the trope that's on Twitter and make it a little more analytical, let's go in that way. Penn State did not beat a single team last year that was power rated top 15. So I think some of the skepticism about can they really step it up when it comes time to play the really good teams, that I think there is some amount of skepticism there that is warranted. However, I will tell you that from a predictive metric standpoint, playing with and playing close to teams of that level and playing close to those top 5 type teams, that actually is pretty predictive, okay? Like the ones that get granular and they measure you on a snap-to-snap basis and a drive-to-drive basis, they're sort of scoreboard agnostic, right? They take a look and they say, okay, on a down-to-down basis, they were pretty damn close to Ohio State. Ohio State, the magnitude of some of their big plays was better. They had the pick 6 and all that stuff, but they're right there. So I agree with you. I think that they are certainly I would not begrudge anybody for voting them number one. I want to see a little more out of them at receiver. Last year they were so Tyler Warren dependent. They've got some transfers they feel good about, including Trevor Pena from Syracuse. But I think Penn State has all the pieces. They need Drew Aller to pick it up a little bit in some of the bigger games, and I think they need a receiver who can consistently get himself open. They do a nice job of scheming guys open, but sometimes when you throw a rock and the defense throws paper, so sometimes you need your rock just to bust through and just get open anyway. And I don't think Penn State had that last year at receiver.
By the way, that's the second rock, paper, scissors reference we've had in consecutive interviews on the show. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I think I'm a little higher on LSU than most people because I look at the SEC and I see a bunch of new quarterbacks. The one in LSU is not new. They went out and got some receivers in the portal. There are high expectations always in Baton Rouge. Do you think that LSU is good enough to make it to Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. I think that they're certainly one of the teams that in that league that has the potential to make it. Do I think they will? I don't know. I have some questions about the defensive line still. I have a lot of questions about the offensive line, given what they lost. But I do believe that they did a really nice job in the portal in the secondary, showing that up a little bit. And I think they have a major hit in the portal at receiver. Barron Brown is legit, apparently. And so you get him, you get Chris Hilton back and healthy. And Hilton is kind of the person on LSU everybody recognizes as the freak. So and that's usually saying something because LSU doesn't have a lot of guys who can't run. And so I think their offense, if they get some blocking, could be extremely potent. But that could also be like a bottom 5 offensive line in the SEC and just be kind of their fatal flaw if it doesn't come together. Because they did lose a lot of talent and experience to the draft there on the offensive line. But I was a Nussmeier guy last year. I had some very nice Heisman odds on him. Obviously didn't cash it. I'd probably bet those 60 to 1s again. You know, I feel like that's a guy with talent who, if everything had come together, he could have maybe taken it home. But they're right in there. Like, they're one of the teams you told me, hey, LSU won the national title. Like, yeah, I can see that coming together and happening.
24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, and two terrific podcasts, Cover 3 and Nullcast. He's Bud Elliott. Follow him on X, Bud Elliott, two L's, two T's, excuse me. Bud Elliott 3. Bud Elliott, the number 3. All right, take Arch out of the equation, even though he's only got 4 starts. Give me the first-year starting quarterback who you have a lot of faith in.
I would say probably Austin Simmons at Ole Miss for a couple reasons. One, like, Ole Miss people are really high on him, and I don't think Ole Miss sniffed around in the transfer portal at all. So they were pretty all in on this kid. And that's usually a good indication to me in this portal era, right? If you're a team that didn't really screw around with trying to take somebody in the portal, that probably tells me you actually like the kid you got. The teams that I know went hard after a bunch of transfers, and then all of a sudden they're like, actually, we love the guy we have. Like, really? Okay. Interesting. Your actions say otherwise, but I think Austin Simmons, with the receivers they had there at Ole Miss, with that system, we did see him come in and lead an extremely impressive drive when the game was still in doubt against Georgia, when Ole Miss upset the Dogs last year after Jackson Dart got hurt. So I think I'll go to Austin Simmons there.
When you look at Notre Dame, is everything dependent on the quarterback situation? Because obviously they are now recruiting at a high level. They get in the transfer here and there. They're stacked to go back to the playoff. Is it all quarterback dependent this year?
I don't think it's all quarterback dependent, but it is certainly quarterback dependent. And, I think by this point, we expected C.J. Carr to be pulling away from Kenny Minchie a little bit more, based on, recruiting pedigree, what the Irish paid him, all that kind of stuff. And like, so far, I'm just hearing that it's still close. So what does that mean? Does it mean that Carr has not been able to level up, or does it mean that Minchie, who's a guy they obviously like still, maybe Minchie is playing much better than they thought, or maybe it's stylistic, right? Maybe some of these receivers that Notre Dame brought in the portal to finally have some dynamic weapons on the outside, maybe those guys are not quite as good as they had hoped, and so Minchie is a guy who's a much bigger threat than Carr with his legs. Maybe Minchie's that guy that allows them to operate in the way that Mike Denbrock, the Notre Dame offensive coordinator, like he operated with Jaden Daniels at LSU, and before that with Desmond Ridder at Cincinnati. Certainly more of a run threat, those two guys, than a C.J. Carr would be. So I'm fascinated to see that. I think that opening game against Miami can be like a total rock fight, to be honest. Like a low scoring, we're going to run the ball, try to play some defense early in the season, and get out of there with a win type game. And whoever throws the ball is probably going to be the difference, because they're both probably going to be able to run effectively.
If Kirby Smart was coaching the Canes, where would they be ranked? Because they're the consensus number 10 team in the country preseason, and everybody, and with good reason, says that their head coach can recruit, but he can't coach. So I'm just curious, if there was a proven great, coach, game day coach, be able to finish a season and win something coach that was coaching the Canes, is their roster national championship worthy and he's holding them back, or no?
I mean, look, I think Mario is at this point pretty clearly like not a value add as an in-game coach. I will give the guy credit. I thought he improved last year. We know that they hired that like sideline analytics guy, and that was kind of, they didn't make a huge deal out of it, but they did it. And if you look at it, Mario did not can you point to a game last year where Mario's like, go for it, punt, kneel down, timeout strategy, like just the stuff that's just like the easily avoidable mistakes? I really can't point to a game where he just totally botched it. And so, like, maybe if they're just cleaning up some of the egregious game management stuff from Mario, like, maybe that makes him, there's no doubt that would make him a better coach, and we'll see if that continues. But, like, I don't think he was nearly as bad last year. Like, I don't think Kirby Smart makes them a full win better. Maybe they're a spot or 2 or 3 better in the rankings. I think if Miami had the receivers that Georgia just brought in the portal, they'd feel a hell of a lot better about their team than they do. Like, Miami tried in the transfer portal. They lost so much at receiver, obviously, to the draft. I don't think that what they got in the portal at receiver is nearly as good as what Georgia brought in. So I think they'd they'd almost rather have Georgia's portal receiver crop, you know?
All right, Florida State, are they closer to being a 4-win team or an 8-win team?
I'm going to say an 8-win team. And I'm not in love with this ball club, but they do have a whole lot of guys who have played a whole lot of football. Not a whole lot of football together, but a whole lot of football. So I just think the bottom half of this ACC schedule is soft enough to where I would be fairly shocked if they don't go 6-6 or better. So I think for that reason, I'm going to say they're closer to 8. There's kind of a hard deck, if you will, where it's like, all right, like those top 4 teams, if they stay healthy, Miami, Alabama, Clemson, and Florida, are probably like well better than you. But there's no guarantee those teams will all click and be awesome. And college football is kind of a wild sport to follow. That's why we love it. But this is a very veteran team. We just got to see how quickly they play like it and play together, assuming Mike Norvell is able to get them to play together. But it does seem like right now, and knock on wood, if you're a Knowles fan out there, it seems like the offense is pretty healthy. And like it's a very veteran group of guys. So if they stay healthy, I think they will score some points under Gus Malzahn. Maybe not a lot against Alabama, but over the course of the season.
Bud, we got about a minute. Is there a team that you're higher on than most people?
I would say based on the reactions to the show yesterday, Utah. So Utah might have the best offensive line in the Big 12 by a mile. They always have good defense under Kyle Whittingham. I think they've had a very deflating season the last 2 because their quarterback got hurt almost immediately. I think they made a major improvement in the offensive coordinator with Jason Beck going to get him from New Mexico. And they also got the quarterback from New Mexico, Devin Dampier, who I think for that level is pretty damn good and knows how to run that system already. So you throw in a competent quarterback, a nice offensive scheme for Utah with a great O-line and a nasty defense. I kind of like Utah in the Big 12, guys. I think they're going to be this year what we thought they might be last year.
Bud Elliott, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, the Cover 3 podcast, Nolecast. Follow him on X. Bud Elliott with 2 L's and 2 T's and the number 3. Bud Elliott 3. Bud, be safe with the carpooling of the kids. Hope all is well with you and the family, and we'll do this every week.
All right, guys, enjoyed it.
Bud Elliott, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton.
So he's the drop-off.
This year, it's a new times and what have you, and that's why he did it on the phone this time. He is optimistic. He'll be back on video real soon, but he's got to get the first week or 2 and timing and traffic and all that nailed down.
Understood. I'm a rule breaker with the car line. I'm the one guy. There's a little side lot because where I drop the kid off and pick her up, where I pick her up, you got to wait in line and then they let you out. But there's a little side lot. You can kind of sneak out without people noticing. And it's me and about 15 other parents that cheat every day in the car line. And I don't feel guilty about it at all, David.
And you don't think you're going to get caught? You think this is going to work?
Did last year.
Whew. Hot damn.
Shoeless Joe Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
American Paint Supplies for nearly 30 years is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local glass doctor for
For
details.
over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from that fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Oh, it's dancing. Well, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Smoke Dog. Do you know what's insane? The size of Derrick Henry in high school. And could you imagine being on the opposing teams going, what in the world? That might be the biggest...
I was just thinking the same thing. What in the world is what was just on my mind a moment ago?
Well, I mean, have you ever seen anybody bigger on a high school football field carrying the ball than Derrick Henry?
I don't think so. I wasn't really, that wasn't what I was referring what in the world to.
What was it?
What I just witnessed.
Oh, yeah, she came in for a hug.
Yeah,
I know. I did feel it was the last time I'll ever see her. She was nice to my daughter for 2 years at high school. She was concessions and what have you. Plus, she was talking about, getting fired soon. And I said, yeah, probably.
Been there.
Yeah. I said, probably. And she looked at me. I go, hey, come on now. You know you're going to get the truth.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour on this hump day. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Not one, but two poll questions, one sports, one non-sports, one football, one meat. I mean, can we, hit our base any more than with two questions, one football, one meat?
That's about perfect for this show.
I was gonna say,
it really is.
Come to think of it, that's not bad.
That's really where we are in life. A little football and a little meat.
Yeah, it's just what more do you need?
Not much, David, not much.
To get through the week, what more do you need?
I mean, really, if we added beer to the equation, we're all set.
For some, that would do it. For others, they'd need another choice. But I think we're 2/3 of the way home. What do you guys got? Football and meat. Could be another T-shirt idea. Miller and Moulton, home of football and meat. Anyway, so the football question is, there's 4 SEC teams ranked in the preseason top 10 of both the coaches and the media. So we said, okay, which one of those 4 is going to win the SEC then? Texas, Georgia, Alabama, or LSU? And I'm sure there's some of you going, it's going to be the Gators. It's going to be South Carolina.
David, not one text all day from someone saying it's going to be the Gators.
Really?
Not one.
Wow.
Not seen anything in the chat room. I think you described it best with the schedule that the Gators have.
Right.
And literally everything the Gator fan has gone through in the last few years. I think even the ones that are more nuts than the rest of them can't type it and send it, if you know what I mean.
That Atlanta's still just a little too far off. I get it. So that's our football question. Which of the top 10 in the preseason poll SEC teams is going to win the SEC? But today is National Filet Mignon, or Mark, as I called it growing up in my grade school years and maybe early into junior high, because the Rustler Steakhouse nearby, where we would go eat every Saturday, had the sign that said filet mignon $3.99. And I was so proud of myself that I knew when I was like in 4th grade how to pronounce filet. And I said, look, Mom, filet mignons. She said, that's right, honey. Filet mignons. You want to go?
And you know what? It fits today for you as well. But how do you like your steak? Medium rare is the proper choice, and 63% of you are making the proper choice. The rest of you, well, you're just wrong.
Hold on. Wait, 63% say rare? They don't even say
medium rare.
Oh, medium rare.
No, the lowest vote is for rare. There are far fewer rare votes than people who like to ruin their steak.
And by rates, the choices are rare, medium, and then Mark combined medium well and well together. And I happen to be a medium well guy. And I will say it's probably the I don't know if I'd say nastiest, but it was probably the most negative look I've gotten from you today when I said, well, I like it medium well. And Mark looked at me like, what in the world is wrong with you?
Yeah, I've given up.
Listen, even my mother.
When it comes to this stuff, I've really just, you've worn me. I've worn you down with certain things in 19 years on the air.
Right.
You've worn me down with certain things in 19 years on the air. This is one I just kind of look, shake my head, and say he's going to a drive-through in 10 minutes anyhow. So does it really matter?
Here's where I think I've changed you on this. 19 years ago, you thought if somebody liked their meat, medium well or well, that they were a bad person. Okay. I think because I've been around you enough and I'm a decent guy, okay, that you're still every bit as disgusted with me as how I would order my steak. You at least know that if my daughter was in the car with him, he would get her home safely and he's a decent guy. Whereas 19 years ago, you would have assumed the absolute worst about me.
That's a pretty accurate statement. And now I have realized and I've actually come to the realization that it's not you I should blame. And I hate to do this right now because I know she's listening. Where did you screw up, Mom Moulton?
Well, listen.
Where did you screw up? I mean, I've watched Mommy Dearest, and I watched when she ordered the steaks rare for the kids, and they would cringe and then never want them rare. I get it, but what the hell did you do wrong?
No, this is one of those in which you can't blame, certain states now want to blame the parents for their kids' actions. This is one of those in which I would throw myself at the mercy of the court and say, you can't blame my mom and you can't blame my grandfather. My grandfather liked a steak medium rare, and my mom likes her steak as rare as you can get it. So they both looked at me kind of like, what, the Jackie Gleason line, okay, and Smokey and the Bandit. How in the world did you come from my loins?
Exactly.
I mean, that's exactly how my mom and grandfather looked at me over the years. So can't blame them. It's all on me. Your Honor, this is all on me. Can't blame this on anybody else.
But right now you're going with the heavyweights in the SEC, the teams that are ranked the highest. Georgia right now getting the most votes for who will win the SEC. Texas in second, LSU and Alabama tied in a distant third.
I picked Georgia, and I said I'm playing it safe. I'm going with Georgia. I think it's tough to pick against Georgia in the SEC in the last half dozen years because, man, at the line of scrimmage, I don't know how many people have beaten Georgia at the line of scrimmage. I mean, and that certainly if it comes down to a rock fight between Georgia and Texas, I'm taking Georgia. I just am.
I got you. And I like how you said it. That's kind of the safe pick right now.
It is. It's a safe pick.
But Texas, it's a great matchup because Sark's a great offensive coach. And we're going to see what Arch gives us. But the expectations are pretty damn high. Well, anybody coaching defense better than Kirby right now in college football?
Not consistently, no. Tell you what, I'm predicting it right now. The sneaky great game of the year in the SEC will be the cocktail party. I think Florida's ready. Give me a healthy Lagway for 4 quarters. Give me a healthy Lagway for 4 quarters. I think Florida's ready to go toe-to-toe with Georgia at the line of scrimmage. Okay, I got some questions about the back end of Florida's defense, but, we'll see if the Georgia quarterback can take advantage of it. But I actually think for the first time since 2020 that Florida is ready to go toe-to-toe with Georgia at the line of scrimmage. And if Lagway's healthy, and hey, they were going toe-to-toe with him last year and he got hurt.
Yes, they were.
I think it's the sneaky great game. Everybody's going to LSU, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, any combination of others. I think the sneaky, at least an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, but I actually think it has a chance because there's been very few great cocktail parties in the last 30 years. I think it has a chance to be a great game this year.
I hope you're right, mainly because I'm going. But I think I think a lot of Florida's games are sneaky good. Florida and LSU. If LSU loses to Clemson, how big is that game for LSU early?
It's early.
Right.
I was just going to say, and Florida's got to be ready. By week 3, Florida's got to have it going on because what is it? LSU,
Miami,
and
Texas,
and Texas
A&M.
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Right.
Over the course of 5 weeks, they get a bye before the Texas game. So yes, it's a difficult schedule, and early on, what we see out of the Gators, I'm fascinated by those 4 games. To me, obviously they got the 2, LIU, and then they've got to go pound South Florida, to be brutally honest. That can't be, they can't have happened to them what happened to Alabama a couple years ago.
By the way, I am concerned about South Florida because I think this is clearly Golish's best team, but it's a very ambitious start to the schedule. Boise, the Gators, and the Canes. All right, because I think he is a legit contender in the American, but man, oh man, that is I think that's his schedule.
No, you're right.
I mean, that's
no, you're absolutely right.
I mean, and that's your, and then, oh, by the way, we're going to get into conference in which the top 2 teams in the American, most are predicting is Memphis and Navy, and he's got them both on the road. I mean, that's a hell of a schedule for South Florida this year.
No, I was just looking at the number for the Boise game. What would you guess that Boise's favored by in that game?
6.5.
You're exactly dead nuts on it. So that's the smallest spread that they'll deal with early.
The other 2 are on the road, right? He's got Boise at home. Oh, an early bird special. It's 5:30 in 15 days, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Hey, 5:30 South Florida special. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's my kind of game right there. Man, is that my kind of game.
Over by 9.
That's college football, maybe.
Because they've got, I think it's Cincinnati, Nebraska scheduled to kick off at 9, but you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, Boise State, South Florida, 5:30. Hello. I mean, that's better than Big East basketball on Fox, for goodness sakes, at 6:30.
Exactly. You're right. You are right. So we've kicked a lot around, a lot of college football talk today. Bill King joined us in the 6 o'clock hour, which very rarely happens, but Bill is in the Central Time Zone. He does his show same hours as ours, but obviously it's Central Time. So we got him right before he started his show. One of the great voices all time in college football joined us at 6:30. Seth Everett, Bud Elliott joining us last hour. Miss any of the show, millerandmoulton.com to download anything that you missed. I will say, I think I'm higher on LSU than most people are. Bud scared me.
About the offensive line?
Yeah. Because that then makes them one-dimensional. And if they're unable to run the ball in the SEC, and Nessa's going to have to throw it, 30-plus times a game, that's not the recipe to win a conference. You win games. Hell, you can get to the playoff doing that. But winning the conference, beating good teams, you've got to be able to win up front.
Well, remember, the left tackle went, top 5 to the Patriots? I mean, he's one of the 2 guys that I said I'd be willing to put my job on. That and the D tackle from Michigan, who went, I think, right after him. I mean, those are the guys that literally I'd put my job on the line for coming out of last year's draft. So, yeah, he's a stud.
Now, they improved themselves at the receiver position, and I think they have more weapons than they did a year ago, but
much better on defense.
But you've got to stay healthy on the offensive line, as we talked about. He said, Bud Elliott, when I asked, who's got depth of the good teams? He said Penn State. That's it. Although everybody else is unproven.
Although he did say he likes the Gators and Canes offensive line and depth. Something to keep in mind.
No doubt. Gators getting it done in the recruiting. It needs to pay off for Billy this year. We've talked about it enough. Their early schedule, incredibly difficult with that 4-game run with LSU, Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239 427-3441 today.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Adam, I have to admit, now I'm trying to figure out, is this the reverse psychology? If they're 1-5, 0-6, you're brilliant. But if they're 4-2, 5-1, you don't care that you're wrong because they're your team. I'm trying to figure out, or if you truly, genuinely believe that they are going to suck. I mean, don't they open with Carolina?
Wait till you hear Jason Kelsey's intro of Taylor Swift.
Okay. I can't wait because I got a long drive ahead of me. Is this thing out or is it tonight?
It's out. I don't know. I think it's out.
I know they drop on Wednesdays. I just don't know when. Because I would like to listen to it. I got 5+ hours.
Yeah, and I mean, only so much MLB radio can do for you.
Well, especially, some of the shows that I'll be stuck in the car with. Not my favorite. And some of those channels, I really would like to take the commissioner and some top executives and drive them around for 30 minutes a car and go, is any of this interest you? Any of this interesting?
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. A conversation was just held that has never been held between Miller and Moulton before. And I feel as if we should share. We should take off air and take it on.
Are you sure?
Yes. And you know what? If there are slings and arrows that come with it, you know what, Mark? There are slings and arrows that come with doing a show. We say stupid things. We get things wrong. We get things right, and it hunks people off. Slings and arrows might as well be our middle name. Hell, it should be an item on our menu. What do you guys
like that?
What are you guys serving today? Slings and arrows. But Miller and Moulton have been talking themselves into this since Monday. And it's now late in our show on Wednesday. And we're both all in. I think we're both cannonballing into the deep end. I think we're going to do it. Something we have never done before. And I don't just mean together. I mean separate. Going to download the Kelsey podcast, aren't you?
Yes, and you cannot. And unfortunately for you, it does not get released until 7 p.m.
That was my fear
tonight.
Oh.
So I know you wanted to listen on your way home today back to Jacksonville because David was here for the Fantasy Football Summit. And he's taken back off to the 904 after the show. But you're going to be unable to. So it looks like more MLB radio for you on the drive.
They're very disappointing, those midday shows especially. So I was so looking forward to the Kelseys. And apparently one of them's dating a high-profile singer.
Exactly. And the one that's not dating the high-profile singer introduces her for about 47 seconds at a very high volume. That clip is out. It is sensational. And I may listen with my daughter tonight. I actually, because she only knows of one football player. I mean, she's heard of one guy.
Travis Kelce.
That's right.
And
she's a Chiefs fan because she likes Taylor Swift.
Okay.
So we may sit around tonight and, they have a little language on there from time to time.
Right.
So the wife may freak out. When we get back from, the hell is today? Wednesday? Gymnastics. Right? David, I just got to figure out what day it is.
I know your Wednesday schedule, for goodness sakes.
So maybe after gymnastics tonight, before bed, we'll catch a little bit of the podcast.
That would be great, too. You go upstairs into her room and say, hey, don't tell your mom. And I mean it. Don't tell your mom. But what do you say? And you do about 50. How long can you stay up there before the wife gets suspicious?
Well, the problem is that she goes to bed pretty shortly after we get home from gymnastics because it doesn't end until.
Yeah, but if you say, hey, I have a surprise for you, and then
that's where I'm going to get into trouble because I will keep her up past her bedtime. And the one thing that I'm not responsible for at all in my daughter's life
is the mornings.
Are the mornings. And my wife is solely responsible for the mornings. And if I'm the person that keeps her up, so she's a bit of a pain in the patootie tomorrow morning, it's all coming back on me.
But see, this is where you look at it and you go, listen, I'm being the cool dad. Okay. But it means tomorrow morning, you cannot, when you're going to be a little tired, you cannot take it out on your mother or I can't continue to be the cool dad. All right. So do you want to listen to the Kelsey Taylor Swift podcast or not?
So did you see Dable in his post-game presser where he threw out the 6'7" comment and then he was asked, who, where'd you get that from? Dart or your kids? And he said his kids. And that's like, he's been throwing out some of the younger kid lingo. I drop those words on my daughter from time to time, and the cringiness that she gives me. And I do it when she's FaceTiming with friends, and I come off the top rope with her lingo, and nothing gets her more upset than that.
Wait a minute. Okay, we're not allowed to be cool?
Apparently not.
Huh. I didn't realize that parents have to now be dorky because we're parents. I just thought it's something we naturally grow into. Huh. So you had breaking news earlier in the show.
Yep.
About James Cook and the Bills. What was it, 4 for 48, and most of it guaranteed, and his agent's claiming it's the most or second most money that a running back's ever been guaranteed?
Right.
All right, good. So that one's done, and we'll wait to see if, the Micah or the Bengals defensive end Hendrickson or, McLaurin, if these teams can get this stuff done. I mean, you got 22 days till Cowboys, Eagles. So, we got 3 weeks or so. So once a year, hence it's why it's called an annual release. Once a year, Sportico releases what every NFL team is valued at. Don't know if you've seen the list. Cowboys obviously are number 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Huh. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I would think that the New York Giants are going to be on that list.
3 at $10.25 billion is what Sportico says they're valued at. The Cowboys, by the way, are valued at $12.8 billion, nearly 2.5 billion more than number 2.
Are the Bears on that list?
They are not.
Interesting. I thought that they might be. I was kind of trying to think big cities. I don't think either LA team's on that list.
Actually, one of them is.
Really? The Rams then? Obviously, it's got to be the Rams, right?
It's got money. It's got to be the shoes.
Right.
The Rams are valued as the second most valuable franchise at $10.43 billion. Do not underestimate SoFi Field or Stadium. I think they call it Stadium. By the way, I do think the Bears make this list once they build their new thing in Arlington Heights by the end of the decade, early 2030s.
Would the Patriots be on the list, given the fact that they have all that land now with what they've done around Foxborough that probably adds to their worth?
And I think that this will surprise a lot of people, that they're still valued the way they are. The 4th most valuable NFL franchise is listed as the Patriots at $8.76 billion. Now, it's still $1.5 billion less than number 3, the Giants. But the Patriots are 4 at $8 and basically $750 million.
So then I'm trying to figure out who 5th is.
So Cowboys, Rams, Giants, Patriots are your top 4. Number 5, imagine if I was playing a drum roll, is...
Yeah, I'm trying to do like the Family Feud here and not get the buzzer.
Right.
San Francisco?
Yes, well done. Just under the Patriots at $8.6 billion. Now, I don't have the rest of the list in front of me. Okay, that's just the top 5. When we would talk about this in years past, it always surprised people how highly the Commanders were valued at, that they were a top 10 valued franchise. Because let's face it, we put a lot of value in wins and losses. And obviously, since some of the teams here lately have not been doing a lot of winning, it does not necessarily impact the value of the franchise.
Not one bit. Think about it. The Cowboys are far and away the most valuable franchise in the league. They don't win, and they don't win at all. They never win. In fact, there are many people out there wondering what's more important to Jera, winning or being first on this list. And a lot of people think it's being first on this list.
Most people, in fact, thinks it's being first on their list, despite what he says.
So Washington, when they get their new stadium, they will probably leapfrog into the top 5.
I think they're in the bottom of the top 10 right now.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think the Bears and the Commanders are the two franchises that give it half a decade. When they both get their new stadiums, look out.
So there are the top 5 valued franchises in the NFL, and to no one's surprise, the Cowboys are well ahead of everyone. Way to go, Jarrah. You've done well for yourself, sir. You can't win, but you've done well for yourself.
Think about when he took over, purchased the Cowboys in the late 80s. Wasn't it for like 140 million?
That sounds right.
And he said, I didn't have a quarter left over. Everything I had to purchase it for 140 million.
Well, and then what he put in to build the stadium too.
Yeah, although I will say he got a lot of he got a lot of people to pay for a lot of things. But yes, he did take money out of his pocket in large amounts. 12.8 billion.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for
Mark
details.
Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Defining a new era in men's health. Get stronger and healthier at Game Day Men's Health. With our in-house laboratory, get in, get treated, and get back to your passion and purpose. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs or Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for a 10% discount on your service. Start living your best with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples. Call 239-427-3441.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So Nebraska has a punter from Australia, like a lot of teams do now.
Okay.
But he kicks with both legs.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we have a Nebraska game week 4. We have Michigan at Nebraska.
That'll be fun.
I'm with you. I actually think it will be. It's one of the. It's
one they don't ever. I mean, that's even in the Big Ten. That game's not been played a lot.
Nope. Sharon Moore is not going to be on the sidelines. It's the second game of his 2-game suspension. We only do Michigan if like the coach is suspended. It's funny.
You didn't hit a drive-through before the show today, or if you did, it was gone before I got here.
There you go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
Home stretch, 22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Have no idea who's on the show tomorrow. Pat Kerwin will be on the show Friday. I think we'll hear a lot about the Raiders because I'm not sure he visited anybody else in between Monday and Friday.
No, he was out there yesterday. They did a short show yesterday because they had someone on after them that was at 49ers camp. So I caught a little bit of John Lynch's interview on the NFL radio network yesterday. But, yeah, they were doing camp this morning, then their show today from Vegas. And then I think I don't know if he red-eyes back after this today. I don't know how but it's the end of Pat's camp tours, so he'll be in a good mood on Friday.
That is true.
He has a love-hate relationship with these training camp tours. He loves the information he gets. He hates all the travel. Pat has gotten to the point where travel's annoying for him. You're getting there, but you're not there completely yet.
No, but I will say, we have a running joke now, for the longest time, the SEC, it just means more. And so, they came up with that late in CBS's run of televising the SEC. So, even CBS had to say, well, the SEC, it just means more. So now that CBS is doing the Big Ten, the running joke among some of us is, CBS, college football on CBS, it just means more. Miles.
Connections. Exactly. Well, and you can't do in the Big Ten what you did a lot in the SEC. You would just fly to Atlanta because it was a 3-hour drive damn near anywhere in the conference from Atlanta.
Totally.
So you get to Auburn, you get to Alabama, you get to Tennessee, you get to Georgia, damn near get to South Carolina in 3 hours. I mean, and if not, you flew to Memphis and you went to Ole Miss. I mean, you could get to Atlanta and drive most places. You don't have that in the Big Ten. Chicago, kinda, but that's still a haul to most of those places.
This is how bad it got for me. I would fly to Atlanta and I would drive to all the places you mentioned: Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn. I would drive to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Starkville's 4 hours from Atlanta. I mean, it's go to Tuscaloosa, make a left. I mean, they're connected by the same road. That's why they've been rivals forever. I mean, they're 60, 70 miles apart on a 2-lane road. Okay, so I'd drive 4 hours to Starkville, and hell, once I get to Starkville, I'm an hour away from Oxford. Let's go.
Leisurely Drive.
Yeah.
Leisurely Drives with David Moulton. That should be, if you ever do a podcast, you should do it while driving by yourself. Call it a Leisurely Drive with David, and just you rant for 25, 30 minutes while you're on the road about whatever it is you want to rant about that day.
You know what? It would either be a monster or I would lose every single job I have, because what goes through my mind during those leisurely drives.
Yeah, I think we should cancel that podcast upon further review.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Today was the day when, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, with locations in Bonita Springs and Naples. It's one that's convenient to you. You can visit them online, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com, or call 239-427-3441. That's 427-3441. Mention Miller and Moulton for 10% off your service. David, we start today in 1910. And I want to know who the official scorekeeper was of this game, because apparently the game of perfect symmetry was played in baseball between Brooklyn and Pittsburgh. They played to an 8-8 tie. Both had 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, 12 assists, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit batsman, and 1 passed ball.
Wow.
Right? Gene,
I'd say it was fixed.
Totally. I want to talk to the scorekeeper. I don't buy anything. Pass ball my ass.
This is the first game. Forget the Black Sox scandal. When did they start this?
1910.
Yeah, way before the Black Sox scandal. This is how bad it was.
PGA today in 1933, Gene Saracen's wins his 3rd PGA championship, the 6th of his 7 majors. Roller Derby, born today in 1935, when the Transcontinental Roller Derby begins at the Chicago Coliseum. The Manhattan Project commences today in 1942 with the aim of developing an atomic bomb. Well, they succeeded. Today in 56, Elvis releases Don't Be Cruel. Today in 62, Bert Campaneris played for the Daytona Beach team in the Florida State League. He would pitch with both arms and play all 9 positions in the game.
Wow.
Right. Today in 63, Dave DeBusschere. You remember him, but not for this, because he pitched a shutout against the Cleveland Indians. He played 2 years in major leagues.
Was he the Cubs?
White Sox.
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde, the film version, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway, released today in 67. Temporary commissioner Bowie Kuhn is elected for a 7-year term as the commissioner of Major League Baseball today in 1969. Leonard Skinner released their debut album, pronounced Leonard Skinner. It had Tuesday's Gone, Simple Man, and Freebird on it, released today in 1973. Today in 1979, Lou Brock becomes the 14th player to achieve 3,000 hits in his career. The Waltons' last broadcast on CBS was today in 81. Fast Times at Ridgemont High opened today in theaters in 1982. The Palace of Auburn Hills outside of Detroit opened today in 88. That was really just for me and Paula listening in the chat room. Payne Stewart wins his first major, winning the PGA today in 89, winning by 1 ahead of Andy Bean, Mike Reed, and Curtis Strange. 91, Cypress Hill. Their debut album was released. Mickey Mantle died today in 1995. South Park debuted on Comedy Central today in 1997. For those of you listening in Southwest Florida, it was 2004. 21 years ago today, Charlie hit Punta Gorda.
On a Friday the 13th.
Yep. 2008, Michael Phelps wins 3 gold medals in the same day. By the way, he did so, all of them in world record time. The 200 IM, the 200 butterfly, and the 4x200 freestyle relay.
I mean, can you say badass?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, what a badass.
You got that right. And Phelps today in 2016 would end his career at the Rio Olympics, winning the 4x100 meter relay, his 23rd gold medal. A couple of Yankees rookies today in 2016 went back-to-back in their first major league plate appearances. One of them was Aaron Judge. The other, you've probably never heard of. Tyler Austin went back-to-back in their first major league plate appearances in a win over the Rays at Yankee Stadium. And Justin Thomas won his first major at the PGA at Quail Hollow today in 2017. Annie Oakley, Alfred Hitchcock, Ben Hogan, Fidel Castro, Don Ho, and Dan Fogelberg would have all celebrated birthdays today. Bobby Clark, and I do believe when I say this that it's 100% true, David, the pride of Flin Flon, Manitoba, is 76 years old today. Golfer Betsy King is 70. Jay Buhner is 61. Mark Lemke is 60. Elvis Gerback, 55. And DeMarcus Cousins is 35. What did I miss, David?
2 things. Hound Dog recorded today in 52. Not by Elvis.
Right.
I did not know this. By Big Mama Thornton. Her full name, Willie Mae Big Mama Thornton. Recorded it in Los Angeles 4 years before Elvis, and I did not know this either. Hound Dog was his longest running #1 song.
Okay.
So, you could argue his most popular song was Hound Dog. It was actually recorded today for the first time by Big Mama Thornton, that is. And today in 61, we divided up Berlin. Yeah, that was a mistake.
Was that the mistake, or was putting it back together the mistake?
No, I think dividing it was a mistake. I could present either side.
I mean,
Time to see life
they started a couple of wars.
Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
I mean, I'll rest on that one. World War I, World War II were started by whom? Germany.
Yeah, but I don't think it was started over dividing of Berlin, though. But yes. Oh, there's no. Hey. Yes, we watch you guys closely. We don't trust you. Your track record 80 years later, still don't trust you. No, we don't.
All right, we go to Wales for the good, where members of the Bangor rugby team helped Phil Thompson get to the top of a Welsh mountain's 3,650-foot peak earlier this month. Phil Thompson has a son who plays for the team, and they were losing their funding, so they decided to do this climb to raise money for youth rugby in their area. And it turned out that Phil, 66 years old, always wanted to make this trip, but he was unable to because he was in a motorcycle accident at 19 and was in a wheelchair. So the team carried the 66-year-old up the mountain peak to let him achieve a lifelong dream.
Awesome.
Very cool. I agree. All right, where are we going here? Let's see. Oh, we go to Australia for the bad, where an Australian reptile wrangler was called to a Queensland home where residents discovered a venomous snake napping in a model train set tunnel.
Napping, huh?
Stuart McKenzie caught the snake. The brown snake apparently was preparing to shed its skin. He put him back in a tree where you belong. The brown tree snakes are venomous, but it says are generally not considered dangerous to adult humans.
Hello, hold on a second.
Well, I'm leaving you with this one.
So they're poisonous,
Yes.
yet not dangerous.
Help me with that one, David.
I can't.
For the ugly, we go to South Carolina, where Rashawn Scott has been arrested. Part of the reason that he was caught is while he was running from law enforcement, he went Facebook Live. At a traffic stop, he was spotted tailgating a vehicle and failing to maintain its lane. When he was pulled over, he pretended to stop and then sped away, starting a chase that reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. During the pursuit, he posted a video to his Facebook page of him trying to run from law enforcement. Deputies successfully deployed stop sticks and disabled the vehicle, forcing him to Scott. He was arrested, and he had a bunch of weed in the vehicle with him.
Of course he did.
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Wednesday, August the 13th, here on Miller and Moulton.
Well, Wednesdays can be getaway days too in Major League Baseball. So we've got ourselves a bunch of day baseball today. Starts with the Tigers and the White Sox. We got the Pirates and the Brewers, which I believe will be on MLB Network. So for those of you that cannot answer the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy's challenge of can you name 5 Milwaukee Brewers, maybe this afternoon beginning at 2 o'clock on MLB Network television, you can watch some Brewers baseball so that you can at least know 5 of them. And if you know 5 of them and none of them are Christian Yelich, we'd really be impressed.
That's a bonus point for sure.
Nats Royals, Rockies Cardinals, Diamondbacks Rangers, Padres Giants, and late afternoon Phillies Reds. Some of the games that are afternoon games today in Major League Baseball. Your 2 primetime nationally televised games in some way, shape, or form. 7 o'clock on Amazon. You're supposed to get Twins and Yankees. 7 o'clock on FS1, Braves and Mets. So imagine that. They go with the 2 New York teams. That's unusual. 4 games in the WNBA tonight, including our buddy Semesco, still on the road, still winning. I believe he's in Seattle to take on the Storm. The 9:30 ESPN game are the Liberty from New York against the Aces from Vegas. Kirsten Bell, the former FGCU standout, has been in the starting lineup for the last few weeks in Las Vegas. Now, she's kind of playing between 12 and 20 minutes, but she has been starting for the Aces, the first extended time that she's getting in her WNBA career.
And that was a first-round draft pick. I mean,
yes,
it does show you how difficult, I mean, how much better from a talent standpoint that league is getting and how difficult it's to get on the court for some of those gals.
And she got drafted by a terrific team, so she had to wait her turn. Miller and Moulton coming back at you tomorrow.
Shoeless Joe's Sports Cafe is where your fantasy football draft should be. Free private rooms, Wi-Fi, plus food and drink specials. In August, Shoeless has bingo and trivia Tuesdays and Thursdays with your chance to win free wings and beer for a year. Fridays, live music on the deck. Saturdays, karaoke on the deck. Plus daily meal specials like Wednesdays, $6 wings and half-price pizza. Watch all your baseball and football at Shoeless Joe's, your home for good food, good times, and good sports in the Bell Tower Shops, Fort Myers.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah!
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or nolanagency.com.
This is Miller and Moulton